can I say? What can I do? All my feelings point back to you. How do I live? How do I choose? The fork roads make me lose. Out on my own, without a soul. Out on a stroll, make me feel whole, make me feel whole again. Make me feel whole again. Make me feel whole
fighter in this battle of the sand. I don't wanna be the lone survivor. Can we defend the land we conquered back in high command? I don't wanna be the only driver. Settle down today, we'll find a way to run towards what we have made. Take my hand and drive tonight. We'll find a way to bring back sunlight. We will find a way. Don't tell me I'll find a way. Don't break me, I'm here to stay. All these dreams go passing by. We'll find a way to bring back sunlight. Don't tempt me, I'll find a way. We will find a way. Settle for the last remaining dancer. Can we take flight and do what's right? Damage the side of modern life. Don't wanna be the lone survivor. Don't tell me I'll find a way. Don't break me, I'm here to stay. All these dreams go passing by. We'll find a way to bring back sunlight. Don't tempt me, I'll find a way. We will find a way. We will find a way. Break me, I'm here to stay. All these dreams go passing by. We'll find a way to bring back sunlight. Don't tempt me, I'll find a way. We will find a way. Scared of the world, I can't keep chasing thoughts round my head. Just a girl
All right, everyone, welcome. So, this is week number 5 of the LAS draft, and we have a very interesting set of games here. So, tonight, both Panther games have ended up being casted. So, first game, we have the Wolves taking them on. And then, right after that, we also have the Panthers up against the Wizards. And they're looking pretty strong. Panthers are 5-3 right now. Same with the Wolves. So, for game 1, things are looking very interesting. And before we do get into everything, do you have any thoughts about some of the players, some of the picks that could be seen today, Karthik? Well, other than that, I think Dallas is looking pretty good so far. Pretty strong. The Wolves are sitting at the top of their pool at 5-3. But other than that, things are looking very good. Wolven Alchemist, he's been playing pretty well in the ADC role, and Nairo, I have played with him in the past couple of splits. So things are looking pretty good. Okay. Karthik, are you saying anything? Well, I think we are having a little bit of an issue with the Discord call. Oh, there we go. We hear something. Something's happening.
Awesome, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just can't wait to get into the games tonight. I've played
Perfect,
with a bunch
perfect.
of these people already, and they're definitely tough opponents when I faced them too. So gonna be really exciting.
Can't agree with that. So things are looking interesting. Both teams are 5-3 right now. However, the Wolves are sitting, or sorry, the Panthers are sitting at about the middle of the pack with that 5-3 record, whereas in Group A, the Wolves are sitting top at 5-3. So this goes to show a little bit of the power dynamics that have been happening with both teams or both pools so far.
Yeah, that's actually really true. This kind of goes to a testament to how balanced like each pool is and what the difference in strength between each pool is too. Because whoever wins in this spot, like if the first place loses to the middle of the pack of the other group, that definitely says a lot about what the group strength is.
So we are going to head right into draft. The Panthers are looking to take their first ban.
Yeah, and just starting off right away with the Udyr, it's such an important ban in this meta. Quick answer with the Leona ban, just a really strong, solid, tanky support too. And we'll see what they keep going with the bans. As I was saying about Udyr, that guy's just unstoppable right now. The next one coming with the Karma pick, the Moonstone is a pretty good item. It might also be a comfort pick for one of the players, so glad to see that off the list.
Moonstone is very strong, and Karma overall is just a relatively solid pick. It can also be flexed into the top lane as well, so it might not just be the support pick followed up by a Graves ban, and Androdis has been playing very well recently, so I'm excited to see that ban. So they're just looking to shorten out that jungle pool a little bit. He is on one of the higher ends of the jungle spectrum here.
And a Soraka ban coming through here. That is very interesting. Another Moonstone support. That item is pretty broken right now. And obviously they are trying to shrink the champ pool of the support. I've even seen some Soraka top cheese come out, so we'll see what ends up happening.
Definitely. We're going to see this last ban come out before we do see the first pick. And overall, these bans are looking very, very strong. They are looking to close out that Moonstone pool. Maybe look for a first pick Seraphine. Maybe that's why they are trying to get rid of those Moonstone picks. Panthers do have first pick here. Seraphine is going to be taken off the table, however. So no Seraphine pickup for Nairo or Defoe today.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see what kind of junglers are also going to be coming out here with two very strong junglers taken off the list already. I really like Hecarim that can be coming out. You can also go for a more gank heavy style, and if people are good enough, they can even play the Lilia. So a bunch of stuff still left open.
And Lilia is also a user of Moonstone, or can be rather. So very interesting to see what they do pick up here in first pick. Probably going to be an ADC. I'm expecting a Kai'Sa, maybe a Jhin. Not too sure.
Yeah, I think Kai'Sa's definitely, in my opinion, just almost at the number one spot there, and just a really good comfort pick in any situation. So
they are
yep,
over
and
time.
that ends up being first.
46 seconds, so they are a little over time, but they do pick up the Kai'Sa first pick, like we said. Very strong ADC, and yes, pick ban champion, honestly.
Yeah, and in these next two picks, we should be seeing, I think, either a bot lane or any other comfort pick that they want to get across before the other team steals it come. I do like seeing things like Aphelios into Kai'Sa. We'll see if the counter pick comes across or if they just want to do something more along the comfort pick.
Exactly. Shall see, however. I do want to see some jungle picks coming out here. I know Dallas is very flexible as a laner, so I'm hoping they do give him that counter pick, but they could just get his pick out of the way so they don't have to worry about it being banned up. And it is responded by with the Senna, and she has been making big waves in a lot of leagues right now, so I'm very excited to see that. However, it's followed up by Illusion, which could be flexed either as an AD carry or a solo laner.
Yeah, the couple being picked up here. This can either go mid or even top, so it is still a flex pick, even though the Senna is shown, because the Senna can still go across as a support. So the Wolves are really just not showing what their identity is yet, and it still has some power picks that they've picked up, and we'll see what the Panthers will respond with.
The Lucian here, a very strong pick, especially into a lot of meta mid laners and top laners. It makes the lane incredibly difficult for solo laners to play out, and it's very hard to punish, especially because it does have a dash very early in the game, and overall very, very able to control waves and get out of ganks. However, it is followed by a Pantheon, potentially support, potentially top lane.
Yeah, I have played with the Kai'Sa Pantheon lane. It is pretty good. We'll see how it goes into the Senna. I'm actually thinking they could pick up the Tahm Kench if they want to go for the cheese combo, and it is just so annoying to play against. And that would allow them to play with a strong top side, with the top jungle mid focusing on maybe even looking for top dives or counter jungling the enemy jungle. And they just can't do too much about Senna and Tahm Kench due to their safety.
Definitely, definitely. We are looking for the last pick. It is going to be a Swain before phase 1 comes to an end. So that Swain could be flexed as well. So Pantheon and Swain, both pretty good looking flex picks coming out.
Yeah, it's really great to see all these flex picks come out. This really it makes it very flexible for the team identities, and we'll see what the third pick comes out here. Still technically no jungle that I can see has come out. Pantheon could maybe flex into it, but we could see the jungle pools being shrinked even more in the second ban phase.
With the nerfs coming to Pantheon with the patch that just came through, I do not think Pantheon is that great in the jungle because his clear has been greatly gutted, and his clear was not very good in the first place. But it is followed up by a Karthus. Very, very interesting to see. If that Pantheon jungle does come through, the Karthus is not going to be able to have a fun time. I'm expecting a lot of invades, especially from this Panthers roster that has come through this game.
Yeah, Karthus can really live or die by how his early game goes, actually, because if he is invaded, if he is punished for being a very risky jungler, then he will just not have that big of an effect. But if he's allowed to farm up and scale up and get some free Rs on lanes from not even being able having to gank them, it can be really dangerous.
So Defoe's Anivia has been banned up, coming out pretty early in phase 2, and Defoe has shown some pretty good performances on the champion, so shortening that mid pool is a good idea.
Yeah, I really find Anivia's a pretty good pick into the Lucian because you can stay safe, you can scale up, and if Lucian tries to go aggro on you, you do have the stun to walk away with as well, as long as he's used his E already. So a solid ban coming out.
And if you do time that Anivia stun well enough, you can actually catch Lucian mid-dash. So it is a very good pick overall, and good to see that banned away. So we should see the next ban coming through from the Panthers. Is going to be the Nautilus.
And it turns out to be the Nautilus. Yeah, that's a solid support ban. I'm assuming Pantheon or Swain, one of those is going to be the support, so it is logical for them to shrink the support pool and try and get better matchups for who they want going into the support role.
And
yeah, so like right now looking at it, there's so many supports banned, and following that up with the Cho'Gath ban. He's actually surprisingly really good on this patch, and it's just so annoying to play against. So good to see that off the list.
it works. I'm guessing they do think the Pantheon is either going mid or jungle, or support even, so they aren't expecting a Pantheon top.
Yeah, there's just actually so many supports gone from the pool here. Leona, Seraphine, 4 support.
Four supports with the Brawl.
So we'll see what actually ends up coming out from the Wolves here. The Tahm Kench is actually still left up, so I wonder if they'll go for that.
I do think the Tahm Kench ban would have been better than the Braum personally, but maybe they are afraid of Jar Jar's Braum. Maybe they faced it in scrims, and it's been proven to be a good pick.
Yeah, on top of that, like Lucian Braum, even though they might not be in the same lane, is still really deadly to face mid game and in skirmishes, because as long as Braum gets the passive, it is just that person's just dead.
So they do pick up the Wukong coming through for Dallas, and even though Pantheon is known to be a relatively okay matchup into the Wukong, we've seen that Wukongs over and over have proven that they are better, especially in this league so far. The Wukong has proven to be a much better champion than the Pantheon.
Yeah, the Wukong is a really strong pick, in my opinion, because as safe as an ADC Kaisa is, Wukong has 2 instances of his ultimate. He can dash on you, and he can definitely go and kill the ADC in the backline.
Ooh, so it is the Rel picked up for the Panthers. So that Pantheon Swain is neither bottom or neither are supports, followed by a Maokai pick top lane. Oh, so I do think it is the Maokai top followed up by a Pantheon in the jungle. Swain mid. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
at least.
I think that combination does make sense. I'm excited to see what actually comes out in the support here, or Senna starts going into the support role, because that support role pool has strengthened so much with it going down to the last pick.
The Panthers do have a lot of catch, so having a Tahm Kench to mitigate that would be very, very smart here from the Wolves. I would love to see a Tahm Kench here. There's just so many ways to catch out a little Kaisa, or catch out a little Senna, so having that safety net would make things a lot easier.
Yeah, and Panthers, just as you said, their engage is really crazy, so it would be nice to actually see some disengage come here, and that is really a perfect pick for it. I think
Very
Tark's
good
so
pick.
good. Yeah, with Rel, Swain, Pantheon, Maokai going in, even Kaisa jumping to the backline, being able to stall that with the Tark ultimate and some stuns and heals is the perfect way of countering it.
Exactly. And the fact that they are going to be unkillable for so long, it's going to be hard for that Pantheon to do much damage at all. Or take advantage of the Maokai flank.
Yeah, and I do like Panthers comp into these squishy laners. Lucian, Senna, Karthus are still very easily gankable, and they can easily be popped. So but we'll have to see how this early game goes, and if Panthers can abuse their early game CC to get themselves a really good lead.
They will need to have a good lead in order to win this game, I feel, because the Wolves scale very well into the late game, with a Karthus building a lot of magic pen, and a Senna just shredding your health with that Kraken Slayer build. It's going to be a tough road, because they have such long range, and also a good way to flank with a Wukong flying at your face.
Yeah, and I'd actually really like to see if Panthers can get an invade off, maybe try and 3-buff the Karthus or find him on a second buff, really punish him for going for the full clear, which I assume the Karthus should be going for, and try and catch him off guard and get themselves a lead with their early game power.
So it is the Maokai top. I'm not the biggest fan of picking a tank into Wukong, mainly because he has innate armor shred in his kit. So even if you do manage to build full armor, I don't think it's that great. I think it's better to find a pick that just team fights a lot better than Wukong, and Maokai is only good on flanks, and I don't know how great the Panthers are playing through TP wards.
That is true, yeah, and you can see the Pantheon jungle coming across here. There's just no way that a Pantheon can keep up with the scaling of a Karthus unless he looks for some really good ganks, and that's definitely possible because you see Maokai top, Swain mid, Rel support. There's so many gank opportunities and a lot of follow-up here for him to go after. So it really does come down to him actually looking for ganks instead of trying power farming.
I hope he doesn't fall into the trap of looking for farm. And I've seen a lot of junglers be relatively inactive in the LAS, so I'm hoping that Gratis is very, very proactive, and he has to be in order to scale into the late game here. Pantheon does scale
I'm
better
not
now.
sure if I'm seeing that right, but that is a Senna mid that's coming across,
Oh,
which is very interesting.
very interesting. Very interesting indeed. They do have till 20 seconds in order to trade it over, so it might just be a little misclick, and they could just look for a trade.
Yeah, I definitely have not seen a Senna mid anytime recently, so might just be a trade near the end, so we'll have to just look out for that. But if it is, then it is going to be a very interesting matchup because Senna will need wards or she will get ganked and she will die because she has no dashes.
Senna is also very, very squishy in the early game with relatively low base armor like most AD carries, and it is going to be the Senna mid. It is 20 seconds now, so that Lucian is up in the bot lane with that Senna in the mid.
Yeah, so this game really revolves around how Panthers can leverage their early game power and actually look for good ganks and get ahead. Or if Wolves are able to scale, get good wards, and not get put behind, and just dominate the late game.
That is the play here. So it is going to be very, very interesting to see how the Senna does fare, especially because they have a very weak mid-jungle duo, especially in the early game.
Yeah, that's true. This also can be seen when they try and fight for Scuttle, because one team is definitely stronger than the other, and as long as rotations are done properly and waves can be pushed, which should definitely be possible, basically Panthers will have to make sure they get their leads by counter jungling, by looking for ganks, and trying to just put the Wolves behind in every opportunity possible.
And it is going to be about putting them behind because, yes, the Wolves definitely do have the scaling factor in their favor, but it's getting through the early game, like you said, very, very tough. They have a lot of ways to jump on that squishy backline with the Rel, with the Swain, Pantheon, Maokai. They have a lot of ways to go in, but a Taric, that could be the key. And I think it's going to be on Jar Jar to make some very, very big Taric plays, very big Taric ultimates to help the Wolves get through this.
Yeah, definitely. And on the other hand, it's going to be up to people like Maokai looking for TP flanks, Pantheon looking with Pantheon ults, and Rel looking for flash engages to try and get into that back line, try and isolate people like Senna, Karthus, Lucian, and just one-shot them.
So we are going to have a quick remake because there was a technical issue, so we're going to have a quick chrono break happening over here. But picks are still going to be the same, so we are just going to fix up what's happened with the ruins. Yeah. But other than that, things are looking very interesting. I do like both comps. They do have an identity.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do like that there is good identity being run across. The Senna pick is really interesting. I don't know if they wanted that to go mid from the first instance that it was picked, but if they are going with it, I assume that they've done their research and know how to play around its weak early game so that it can scale really well. So we'll see how the Wolves, if their gamble's going to pay off and they'll be able to scale to the late game safely.
Exactly. It's going to be very important for that to work. But both teams look very strong, and they're both looking to push their records to 6-3. So I'm wondering.
Yeah, the main thing will be that if they can look for fights with their mid-jungle duo, like Pantheon Swain just destroys Senna this early game, and there's nothing Wolves can do about that. So I'd like to see these mid-jungle duo going into their jungle, trying to look for side lane ganks, and just forcing fights because they will be stronger early game.
They definitely do have the stronger skirmish, even if it is in the late game. So just looking for side lane picks is definitely going to be a lot better for them.
Yeah, so another since we have some more time here, we can try and go into like these lane matchups too, if you want. I know you starting off with top, for example. I know you had mentioned that Wukong just does really well into Maokai, and there's not really much that Maokai can do about it because of the innate armor pen that Wukong has. This should actually give him Prio early on and later on. So that is the one winning lane that I think Wolves can leverage to try and get some leads and try and get Wukong into the other lanes to help him out, help the other lanes out.
And Maokai will have to decide whether he wants to itemize towards that Wukong or itemize towards that Karthus. Because yes, Maokai does get tanky, but when you have 40% magic penetration as well as Sork Pen boots, you don't stand a chance.
Yeah, and the thing was, having the advantage of putting Lucian Taric together and Senna Taric, it actually does have a lot of kill threat because Lucian is just very strong early game. So, if the bot lane duo like matchup will be pretty volatile in my opinion too, because it depends on who can hit their skill shots and who can outplay each other. And if we see some dual kills coming across, that could change the tides of the game completely too.
A nice interaction with that Lucian Taric is Lucian can reposition the Taric stun because of his dash. So it is going to be very, very difficult for the Kai'Sa with only move speed to run away from those Taric all-ins.
Yeah, for that the move speed that she gets from her E, it's definitely not enough to reactively dodge Lucian's thing, at least until she gets her invis. So I would like to see Lucian Turek playing aggro as long as they have good vision to try and get some picks across with Lucian just diving in there. But in order to counter that too, if Rel does wait for the Lucian E, then she can easily get in there and get the stun. And Rel is just so tanky too. So if they make the mistake of focusing the Rel instead of trying to get on the Kaisa, which might be kind of hard, then it could definitely become an issue and Panthers can take the edge there.
One very interesting thing to note is both teams have very big global jungle presence, with a Pantheon being able to ulti from almost anywhere on the map, and a Karthus with a global R button that can do damage to everyone. We'll just have to see which one has more effects on the game.
That is true. Yeah, I can definitely see there being a bot lane fiesta somewhere early on with Maokai and Wukong just TPing down bot, Pantheon ulti, and even like a Karthus ult coming in. And even more to add on to that, there's a Senna ult on Wolves too. So in a 2v2 matchup, which is really close, you can see a Karthus ult and a Senna ult coming in, and that fight is just not fair for the Panthers.
That's basically a 2.5 or even 3-member fight versus 2 in any skirmish, just being piled on top with those globals. It's very scary to think about.
If they do take the opportunity to coordinate that when they hit their 6s, and you can see Kaisa and Rel kind of pushed up, Lucian and Tara can literally just flash in, force the fight, and just win it. So I'd like to see them make that happen if possible too.
I do think it is on the Panthers to force fights, but with that scary bottom lane, it's going to be on the Lucian Tarek to make sure that Kaisa cannot scale. And although I do like Senna very much in the late game, I think Kaisa is overall a better team fighter with her AoE damage, especially from the Q and from Runan's Hurricane. But I wonder if we're going to see a Phantom Dancer second coming out from Wolven. It's proven to be a very good item, especially with the new changes that came through.
Yeah, and I think I really like it when a player isn't rigid with their builds to follow what's like given in a guide or something, and is actually looking actively at what could help them in a game. So I would like to see that come out. It would be very good for her.
Definitely. Let's just take a look at the new Phantom Dancer. It's basically like the old Rageblade of Season 10. It doesn't give the same Phantom hit where on-hit effects apply every 3 autos. Instead, it has the same ramping attack speed after 5 auto attacks, so it's very good for a Kaisa who has Hail of Blades to be able to proc that Phantom Dancer to just get that additional 40% attack speed. And it does give 25 attack damage as well, which can help her towards getting her Q evolve very early into the game.
Yeah, I do feel like the item has kind of like gone under the radar actually, because people now see that there's no more shield on it, and they didn't I actually never see it gone on most champions anymore, but it does have really good stats and a decent passive, so we'll see if they are proactive with that decision.
Remember, Kaisa's favorite item from last season was that Rage Blade, so having a sort of substitute with some crit is pretty helpful, but it does not have that phantom hit, does not apply on-hit effects nearly as quickly, so it's going to be interesting to see what Wolven does build, because Collector is meta right now. It is a very good item, and it is bread and butter for Kaisa, but I do think Phantom Dancer should come. I think it's very gold efficient, and it's one of the better build paths now. People just haven't caught on to it.
That's true. Yeah, it should come across soon. Kind of like how Udyr was. His changes were already across. People just hadn't noticed him until people finally did. And then that just became the standard really good jungler. And you see it banned everywhere from pro play to our games here too.
Definitely. But Angratis has to go very, very hard into the entire enemy team. He has to apply pressure, and if he's not applying pressure, he's going to be nothing more than a caster minion come mid-game even.
Yeah, and I think in these points where two teams have their win conditions clearly set, it is also important to kind of look at ease of execution too, in which I kind of give the edge to the Panthers, because as long as Angratis literally makes the decision to actually gank, there's setup for him in every lane as long as he takes the right pathing. But on the other hand, Wolves, they have to watch out for all the wards that they have to put, everything that's up on the other team, like a Pantheon ultimate, and make sure to stay alive in that early game while not giving up too much, like scuttles and early dragons and their jungle in general. So yeah, definitely ease of execution, in my opinion, goes to Panthers.
I'm expecting a lot of mid roams because I do think Swain has a lot better wave clear on lower cooldown compared to Ascena, especially in the early and mid game. That Q is very spammable, and if Senna does walk up to try and hit the wave, he has the Nevermore to pull her back.
That's true, yeah. Like, honestly, I think if Pantheon has Flash and he goes for a gank, and Senna is not under her tower, she's pretty much dead. Like, if Swain follows it up properly, then there's not much Senna can do. Which is why this Senna pick is just such a gamble.
Exactly. So we are going to go to a quick break. We have our predictions open. Who do you think you guys will win? Panthers or the Wolves? We shall see. But place your bets, everyone. We'll be back in just a second.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come with me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
All right, folks, welcome back. Here we are with game number 1. Panthers versus the Wolves, and we'll see Panthers again later tonight, but we shall see what game 1 has in store for us right now. And we do see...
Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see if Panthers want to make a move in the early game and try and go for an invade or anything. And it does look like they're looking for something in mid, but it is spotted out by the Karthus. The Wolves are doing well and doing a proper standard early game with looking out for all the jungle entrances.
They do have to worry about that too, because it is a Pantheon Swain jungle mid duo. So it is a very, very potent invading comp.
Yeah, I think they tried to go from the mid lane into the bottom side brush, but Karthus did a good job of standing in mid lane, which people sometimes forget because you wouldn't think you need to guard mid lane, but that was really good for him to catch that out.
So we do see the aggressive summoner from the Taric with the Ignite. Not looking to dissuade and engage with the exhaust, but looking to dissuade the healing from the Swain.
Yeah, and I think they just want to win lane too, honestly. Like, I think Lucian wants to go in. I think they want to try and get a 2v2 kill and prove that they're the better bot laners.
We do see Bambooper taking the cleanse here. Very respectful of the Swain Pantheon jungle duo.
Yeah, that's good. I think Senna really just has to take the cleanse, or she's just dead every time Pantheon walks into lane.
She has to realize she is going to be behind the entire game, or should be behind the entire game.
Yeah, I'd like to see some good wave management come in, actually, to see if Swain can freeze the wave, which just makes Senna unable to play the game, because Pantheon can just easily come then.
We do see the Pantheon doing that blue clear into the Gromp very early.
Yeah, so we're seeing him blue into Gromp. I'm wondering if he wants to invade the enemy red side, which would definitely be a really good idea with the prio he has from mid, or if he's just going to go for a standard clear, which Karthus is probably going to be doing. He'll probably be doing a full clear into the top scuttle, and Pantheon will be going bot side.
There was a quick trade up in the top lane. Dallas getting that level 2 prio, looking forward, and good pull from Defoe, looking for a quick kill, but not able to get anything from that Nevermore.
And something interesting to point out, Pantheon has skipped his wolves. He's going blue Gromp red, which should give you the level 3 because of the specific camps that he's taken, and he's looking for a bot play. But you can see the enemy bottom lane quickly spot that, or like predict that and put a ward in the tri-bush to be ready for his plans.
We did see some pings coming out from Wolven and Nairo, just telling their jungler that there is some vision placed in that tri-brush. So if he is going to look for a bottom lane gank, he will have to go through river.
Yeah, so Pantheon is doing a very interesting pathing. He's actually doing his Crux, so he skipped his Wolves and Raptors, which are kind of hard for Pantheon to clear. So we'll probably see him going into a bot gank or look for the scuttle, while Karthus takes his time full clearing and getting the topside scuttle.
So we already do see some CS deficits coming out from the top lane, which is expected, and a little bit in the mid lane, which is quite surprising.
Yeah, you can see a lot of trading going on in mid lane as well, as Defoe is really finding these Swainies to catch Senna off guard, but Bambooper is returning with some good trades and keeping her sustained with the Q.
And Gratis was looking for a lane gank, but DeFly and Jar Jar just not stepping up for it.
Yeah, I do like the look that Pantheon's going for to at least try and burn out a flash or something, but he wasn't able to get it. It was really interesting that Pantheon just back there though instead of going for the scuttle, which should rightfully be his. I don't know if the enemy bot lane had tracked that because they didn't see him go up to the top with the tri-bush.
We do
Oh,
see
and we
the
actually see Swain
top laner
punishing
rotating
Cortez here.
through. Draven looking for something. Is he going to burn the flash? No, he's not. He's just going to walk through. But he has no W. He's not going to use the twisted advance. But it is a 3v2. Senna is arriving, but she's very late to this fight. Going to flash forward from Gratis. He is actually going to fall. No, he's not. Oh my god, that is a crazy fight coming out from the top lane. It's a double kill over to Dallas. Looking like a quick Dallas dip, but we do have a fight here in the bot lane. That attract repel landing on Jar Jar, but Jar Jar is just way too tanky. The Dazzle's gonna land, and down goes Wolven. No, here comes the Ignite. The Ignite is gonna tick through. Flash coming through from the fly. Down goes Wolven. The Kaisa is fallen. Maybe Nairo is gonna fall too. They aren't looking to dive this, but Nairo is gonna be forced to back with that low health bar.
Yeah, just a crazy set of events actually. The top side becoming a big brawl, and overall it is the red side coming out on top. Now that they've had this big lead, you can see it's 8.7 to 7k already, which really helps them get ahead and
Oh,
not
Nairo
lose the
stepping up way too far, but here comes Engratis coming through. The fly is going to fall to the Pantheon Q. Comet Spear going to take that one, but Bambooper is going to dodge out of the Nevermore, but here comes the last embrace. Is going to be rooted up. Tarek is nearby, and Gratis is also going to follow up, but they are just going to walk away, leave each other behind for another day.
Yeah, that gank by Pantheon was actually really solid. Really helps them get another kill and get back into the game tempo-wise.
And Gratis is following through, is going to actually dodge out from the last embrace, but they do see him on a ward.
Yeah, that overall though, I would still give the edge to the Wolves because they got some kills onto their carries and they're able to do well in solidifying their leads. Another thing I'd like to point out is really good vision control here. Their ward and tri-bush was cleared, but they have the scuttle vision, a ward by mid to help keep the Senna safe and try and get out of this hard early game for them.
And we do see a gigantic CS deficit up in the jungle, 18 to 44. Karthus is clearing incredibly well, and Ingratus is not matching that with ganks. He only has had one successful one so far.
Yeah, so Karthus is definitely going end-to-end, full clearing everything, and Pantheon is trying to match him with a few ganks here and there. It is kind of hard for Pantheon to look mid because Senna's just constantly getting shoved in. We'll see if they can actually manage their waves to get a freeze like I was talking about earlier. And another thing to look at is Lucian and Tarek both don't have flashes anymore because of that all-in they did. So Pantheon should definitely be looking to come bot again and punish that. And he is pathing toward bot side, so we'll see if he'll try and make it happen.
We are looking for that level 6 to come through. We do see lethality coming out from the Pantheon, probably looking for that Eclipse, and I'm not sure if I agree with that item choice.
Yeah, I think it is definitely one of the options, but I personally am not that big of a fan of it either. But we'll see what he can make do with it. He's looking for Krugs right now, and then we'll see if he actually wants to go over to the Dragon once Swain is back into lane and he has his prio. So because Swain is using the wave, they really should try and do something with the prio. You can see Senna's actually looking for a back here, so it would be a great time to try and go for that Dragon. And a good trade actually coming across by the bot lane here.
Very good from the fly, looking for a nice trade, and he doesn't pay for it at all. Goes unpunished, but here comes Ingratus. A nice W from the Rel, double knockup. Dazzle is going to land onto Ingratus, but DeFly is just sitting at 1 HP. Here comes the Senna ulti, is going to come out very, very strong, do so much damage, and Karthus is going to channel the Requiem, and down goes Wolven. Ooh, very good look from both global ultimates coming out from the Karthus and the Senna to support
Yeah, that's
their
what we
bot
talked
lanes.
about happening, and this actually gives red side the prio on the Dragon here, which is really big in order to get the first drag on a late game scaling team. That basically puts the soul timer 5 minutes behind at least, so it gives them a lot more room to work with. But Pantheon is here. We'll see if he looks to
Here comes the
steal.
Comet Spear. Gonna come over the wall. It is going to be
And-
claimed by Pig. So good play from him, but Dallas is just taking a lot of damage up in the top lane. Very bad trade going on for him, but he has a 31 CS lead. And it's
Yeah,
looking
that's
very
really
rough for
good.
that.
Oh, he's actually
Maokai.
cutting it really close there.
Yeah.
Almost dying, but I'm sure he does have it under control. And we'll see if Swain can actually try and freeze the wave here, and Pantheon can try and look to do something.
That is what he has to do here in order to win this lane. He is down both in CS. He is up a kill, but also down 3 assists at the same time.
And we'll see Wukong coming in to TP back with full health with near item.
Maokai is
and we'll see
very
what he
low.
can
He's
do.
going to get all in. Iron Spike Whip doing a lot of damage. Conqueror proc, but he's just going to back off and force that Maokai to either burn his TP or base, or lose about a wave and a half.
Yeah, so Wukong actually just has a gigantic lead, and he was able to get a good trade there. We'll see if he can actually freeze it here, so it's hard for the Maokai to walk up. But Pantheon is nearby to break the freeze if required.
He still does not have the Grand Starfall, so he is very behind in levels, down 2 over to the Karthus.
Yeah, I really have to give props to this Karthus. He's pathing very effectively. He's sequencing his camps well on spawn. Oh, we'll see Rel.
Oh, Rel looking for a beautiful W. The Magnet Storm is going to follow through, but they just don't have the damage. The Fly is just out trading all of them, all on his own. And Jar Jar and DeFly are just going to be able to walk out of that one with a lot burned from the side of the Panthers.
Yeah,
Rel
it was a
looking-
good look with the Hex Flash, but Lucian with the Noon Quiver just hitting on Rel while Kai'Sa's hitting a Taric with shields is just not going to match the same level of damage that they have.
Defoe getting caught by another Last Embrace, and Gratis is going to try here, but he's probably just going to get solo killed by Dallas. The stun is going to land, but it doesn't matter. He just takes no damage, and down he goes to the spin. The Beyblade coming through, and Draven doing so much damage. Defoe is looking for maybe a trade kill onto Dallas, but he's just not strong enough. Here comes the Rel looking over. Does have the Attract Repel, but he's nowhere near. Flash coming through from Defoe, but it's not going to mean anything. They are just going to get rooted up by the Last Embrace, but Sugar Daddy Draven flashing over. Kai'Sa coming through with the Killer Instinct. And Bambooper is caught in a bad spot. The Kai'Sa's just going to walk forward, but here comes the Requiem coming out from Karthus. He is so bad, it's going to do so much damage. Bambooper going to fall to the Plasma, and wow, that was a very close fight for a team that was very far ahead.
Yeah, and it was a huge risk for the bot lane to come up, which is generally good to do, and they almost got no kills from it, but Maokai managed to get the flash route over the wall and get Kai'Sa into the fight with their ulti, and they were able to get a few assists onto the Kai'Sa, missing a huge wave that the enemy bot lane pushed into tower.
One thing to note is that Defoe is back in this game, picking up 2 kills there, and he's their main source of AP damage, so he needs to be really strong.
Yeah, the Swain can be so oppressive in these team fights, and although the red side has a lot of damage, Swain can just tank it all with his ulti, and we'll see if he's able to survive in these team fights with the lead that he's got.
Uh-oh, Dallas having a good trade onto Draven. He's already procced the Conqueror down to half HP. Maokai is going to have to walk away with his tail between his legs. I'm surprised I don't see a Bramble Vest coming out here.
Yeah, this Wukong is just at such a strong state right now. Maokai has a couple of ruby crystals. Wukong has a gore drinker, and these trades are just not fair.
They're not
to-
even close. But Nevermore going to land onto Bambooper, but the Eye of Sauron not going to do anything.
Yeah, the Senna is surviving pretty well, but now she does have no flash or cleanse, so we'll see if the Pantheon can punish that. I think he actually used his ult to grab the bot lane CS when his team was fighting top, so he doesn't have it for a bit. But he does have that flash ton, and I really just want to see him just going mid, forcing with his flash, and Senna just cannot do anything there. And looks like he's about to look for it right now.
Here comes Defoe going to land the Nevermore. Pantheon is going to follow through, walking up from the top side. He does have the flash. He is going to use that flash stun, and down he goes. Defoe going to pick up another. Up in the top side, we do have another fight. The Beyblade spin is actually not going to be able to kill Mr. Draven up in the top lane. He's going to walk
Yeah,
away.
that is exactly what I wanted to see from that mid lane gang. He flashes, he forces on the Senna, and there's nothing you can do about that. That's why you don't pick Senna mid, right? So that was really good for punishing it, and because they have that prio, they're looking at the enemy bot jungle, which is really good by the Pantheon to try and get his CS lead from the
We
Karthus.
do see Rel
They
going
managed.
over the wall. The Dazzle is not going to land, and both sports just going to miss everything and walk away. You know,
Yeah,
little
I
handshake.
do want to see them. I do want to see them transitioning this into a dragon. We can see Karthus looking for the top jungle in return, which was a good idea, but a Pantheon had taken everything, and they're going to try
They're
and look for
looking
a
for a
dive.
dive up on the top side. That Maokai is very squishy. Is going to get smited. Karthus is going to tank up first. The tree is going to come. The roots are going to land, but it's not going to mean anything. But Bamboo, for once again, is going to get ganked by the Pantheon. Followed through by the Rel. And Pantheon is going to pick that up. And Gratis picking up kill number 2. But that Rift
That is
Herald.
a really big play on mid and on the other and top by the other team. That Rift Heralds are really good.
Here comes
almost
the
killing
TP
the
from
tower
Defoe.
there.
He's gonna look here, but he's very squishy. No, he's not. He's able to actually claim up Dallas up in the top side. Anna's gonna do so much damage, but the Karthus skill's doing so much. You gotta dodge, buddy. No, he's not.
Oh
He's
my
gonna die to minions. That damage is too insane. Here comes the Rel following through with the Magnet Storm. The Carrick ulti is gonna do so much here. The Starfall, keeping everyone alive, but Jar Jar might just be the sacrificial lamb to keep the Fly alive. He is going to land a beautiful
Very
Dazzle
good
flash.
flash.
Very good flash, but he might just fall. Down he goes. Nice tanking from Draven, and Gratis is going to claim that one. But here comes the Requiem, probably going to claim 2. No, he is not,
Oh,
just barely the
Leandry's-
but that
Leandry's-
the Leandry's tick is going to
Double
claim that
kill.
kill. He's going to be a double kill over to the Karthus. Pig boss move doing so much work.
And that's what you want to see from the Karthus, the power to just put a huge chunk of damage on the dives that were happening as a counter gank. That is what Karthus does excel at. He is so fed. He is 5-1 now. And even from those top fights, that's a Leandry's Karthus hitting the Maokai, who is building armor, so he has no resistances, although he might have felt tanky against the Wukong.
But here comes a Drake coming through, and this is going to be claimed up by the side of the Wolves. Down it goes, already up 2 Drakes with the scaling team. Ooh,
Yeah,
very
and
spicy.
we can actually see here Mountain Soul is the one that's going to be happening. So if they can get those defenses onto them, the other team basically just becomes Kaisa and a few bruisers, right? So they don't have a lot of damage to work with, and if they can't melt through the HP bars and the shields that's given by Mountain Soul, it can look very grim for them.
That also gives the Senna some breathing room, having that shield, and having those resistances coming from the Mountain Dragons.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Senna was doing pretty well in surviving, but in these last few minutes, the Panthers have done a good job of punishing her, not having flashing cleanse up, and she is put a bit behind, even though she is staying constant with the CS.
We do see the Wukong going to probably kill Draven once again, but he's doing very little damage now. Like I said, the Bramble Vest Steel Caps combo just mitigating everything that Wukong's popping out. But the Nevermore is going to land on Bamboo, but he's taking so much damage from the Swain. He is so strong. It's in 5-2. Those Qs doing so much. The lightning hands.
Yeah, at these item break points, it's so hard for the Senna to trade with the Swain. That's a Leandry Sword Boots versus absolutely no defenses. So Senna just cannot compete with Swain in these trades, and until she gets her mythic item, or which she should be able to do with their back here, hopefully, it's just hard for her to fight.
There it is, the
And
Kraken
yeah,
Slayer.
she gets the Kraken Slayer. I do really like that because you're going to be hitting a lot of meatballs in their front lines.
So chat
Oh,
was wondering,
hello.
how many Dark Harvest stacks does Karthus Karthus have? He has 8. Oh, beautiful Nevermore from Defoe, jumping onto Defoe, or jumping onto Dallas, mind you. Wow, he's taking so much damage. Good Sonya's from Defoe. Not great flash from Dallas.
Yeah, I think he tried to
and
get that
Gratis
last
might be
second.
caught here.
Oh,
Down he goes to
Pantheon.
Bambooper, pathing the wrong way. You should not path there at all.
Oh, bot lane are getting very good leads. They by
Uh-oh.
themselves, and the Karthus
Uh-oh,
upgrade.
Nairo, beautiful W, but it's not going to mean anything, but it's because it's the Tarek Tam. Oh, Magnet Storm is going to be used for nothing. Tarek does almost fall, and so does Definitely, but beautiful, beautiful dive.
Yeah, I really like the look here coming across. That Karthus ulti just does so much damage right now. You can see he's on 2 items and sword boots and a fully stacked Dark Seal. He is a monster.
Please
And
get a
even if
Magi's,
he's on
my
the
friend.
other side of the map, he just helps that bot lane so much.
NA Flash Part 2, I agree with you, Mr. Down of Doom. That was an NA Flash coming from Dallas, but it was also NA Pathing coming through from Engratis, walking up towards the top side jungle of the Karthus, and that's not the way you want to walk.
Yeah, and speaking of pathing, I really want to give props to this Karthus because his pathing has been really great. He has 150
Farming is
farm.
immaculate, but the foe is going to land another Nevermore onto Bambooper. Oh, we are going to see a pause coming out. We do not know for what reason, but It's going to be a quick pause. Bambooper is very low. There are not supposed to be any pauses during combat, so I'm surprised this was called. This was not supposed to happen. But game state-wise, things are looking in favor of the Wolves all the way, but the Panthers are clawing their way back right now.
Yeah, so with the pause coming through, we can definitely assess the game state. I think Wolves have done a really good job of capitalizing on their opportunities. The Karthus is extremely fed, and the Lucian was able to kill bot tower with himself and Terra, getting a lot of gold from there. So he is really ahead compared to Kaisa as well. So, and he's gone with the Kraken Slayer build, which will just melt through people like Pantheon, Swain, Maokai, and Rel. Same goes with the Senna's Kraken Slayer, so it's looking really good for them.
Definitely. Senna does build a lot of AD, and she gains a lot of AD from her passive. So the Kraken Slayer, the reason why that item has come very, like, it's just been slotted into her build every single game, is because of her AD scaling. She gains a lot of AD as the game goes on, just passively. So it is 45% AD on to every single third auto, and her Q also does proc it. The Piercing Darkness does add a stack of that auto attack.
Yeah, and that fight that was going on earlier near the Herald, good to point out that Wukong did pick up that Herald, and we'll see what he can do with it. At this point, he can trade so well with the Maokai, and we'll see if he can use that Herald to get himself another tower, or if they want to look for a push mid with it and get even more advantages on top of their 5k gold lead already.
Yes, chat. So it was paused mid-fight. We were not expecting this to happen. We're not too sure why this was paused, but it was during a fight, so that should not have happened. However, it might have been a disconnect. That might be the thing that did happen. We're not too sure, though.
Yeah, it just sucks when that happens. And another thing I really want to see coming out is Edgei's from Karthus. I think he's been playing well. He has the 10 stacks, and his ult is more than halfway off of cooldown. So if he gets a Medjais before then, gets a few more stacks on that, he's going to hit like a truck with every single Q.
One thing to note is Dallas did start off the game 3-0, but he's slowly and surely been getting caught out quite a bit in these recent fights. So the top lane gap is not as big as it used to be, especially because he has been giving over a lot of XP, and Maokai doesn't really need that much gold to be effective. He just needs experience. He needs levels so he can get that base armor going.
Yeah, so definitely you can see like this CS leads that are coming across between the top and jungle. The difference is 93 to 150, 76 to 135. They need to make sure that these people can still hold Wukong and Karthus at bay, especially Maokai with Karthus. He's got to stack that armor, get his mythic item soon, and make sure Wukong doesn't just run over his lane.
So apparently there was an audio issue coming out from the side of the Wolves. Apparently the account had some issues, so it is back. So we are going to resume gameplay right over here. And wow, flash for flash from Bambooper and Defoe. Very, very spicy to see right as the game comes back into play.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a bit of time to think
Oh,
about
beautiful Nevermore from Defoe once again. He is landing these like crazy now, come mid-game.
Yeah, you can definitely see he's practiced on the Swain, and he's trading really well with it. Oh, and the blue is sniped from the Pantheon.
Oh, the Comet Spear
and
coming
steal.
through. You hate to see it.
Yeah, so, and blue is actually kind of important for Karthus too. You can see how much mana he's on, so he'll definitely need to back sometime soon, and that is what he ends up doing because he can't get the blue.
He did cancel his base, and now he's basing again. Very, very fun to see.
And so we've been talking a lot about like what Wolves and what they have going for them, but let's not forget that Panthers still have amazing catch, and they're doing a really good job of placing a lot of vision boards. You can see 3 vision boards actually put in the enemy jungle to track what's happening, and they have really good vision by the dragon fight, which is going to be coming up now. And this next one is really crucial. Whoever wins this, it'll help them a lot, because if Panthers are able to win, they still are in the game and they can have their lead. But if Wolves are able to win that fight, then their gold lead will pretty much be insurmountable by then.
Oh, the Fly being forced to dash out, and Nairo not taking that much damage from the Lucian, even though he is so strong.
Yeah, so even with the Kraken Slayer, Rel is just innately so tanky, and you can see everyone's trying to move down. Maokai's TP is coming up, so he's going to be staying up there, and there's really good flank where it's actually behind the wolves.
Oh, Dallas is going to be knocked off, but he is still very strong. Megastorm is going to come through, is going to be ignited, is going to be able to walk it out. Flash burn from Nairo, though. Very...
Yeah, Rel ult flash
Ooh,
burn, that's a
right
huge
before
part of their
Dragon Fight?
engage.
That's not what you want to see. Ooh, here comes Nevermore coming out from Defoe once again. We do see them just looking to push that mid lane. They are going to give third Drake for the mid lane tower.
Yeah, that is a very risky trade. We'll see if they want to try and flank around
Uh-oh,
from
Nairo
behind
is looking to be
and
caught
fight.
out here. Here comes the Beyblade from Dallas. It's going to proc the Aftershock. They are going to look to walk it out. They are collapsing on the entire team. Pantheon is... They are just looking to run away. Pantheon is going to R towards the Maokai. Kaisa and Wolven are they're
let's see
looking
how much
very...
it's hit.
Oh, that
Oh my
damage
God.
was insane. Oh, everyone is very low. Jar Jar is going to fail the flash dazzle, but down goes Kaisa. The Dallas dip is coming through. Very strong Defly going to be able to pick up Defoe with the culling. Another one added to his collection.
Yeah, and as I talked about before, this is actually going to be a Baron for them, which is going to be really good. They're going to be able to break that mid tower really easily.
They traded mid tower for Drake, and it's not going to end very well.
Yeah, mid tower for Soul Point is not ideal, and I'm not sure why they did that, because they have a really good TP ward behind the wolves from Maokai to go through. They can have Pantheon ulting in, and they can have a really good engage onto Lucian, Kais, Senna, or Karthus. So despite that, they decided to go for maybe a second mid tower. I know that Wukong had the Herald with him, and he's decided to spawn it now, so they should be able to get the mid tower in return and still be able to pick up that Drake that they did before.
And I don't know how well that trade went for them. I'm not too sure if I like the decision making coming out from the Panthers. Like I said, good TP ward, they could have used it, and I think they are afraid that they do lose 5v5, but they have so much AoE CC that I do think it is enough to maybe pull away with a couple kills and maybe even win the fight, especially with that Swain being so strong, and they have multiple ways to cancel the Karthus Requiem as well.
Yeah, I think they might have just, when they lost Rel ult and Flash, they might have gone discouraged and tried to just give over Soul Point and get some more gold to keep them in the game. Oh, we'll see if Senna gets caught out here. But
She
the
does
wards
see the
are there.
Rel, but she's not very... Here comes the Maokai, though. She is going to be able to get away with the Mist. But
Rel's
here comes
chasing.
Nairo. Is going to miss the W onto the Senna, and she's going to be able to walk away. Or is she? Oh, Defoe. Defoe is doing so much damage to Dallas, but here comes the Cosmic Radiance. And this is just looking like a disaster for the entire side of the Panthers. They're falling on both sides of the map. Draven is looking to fall too. And everyone is dropping like flies with only the Kaisa left alive. Not what you
Yeah,
want
this
to see.
other weakness that I had kind of pointed out. If early game Panthers aren't able to get a lead, they're just going to be 4 meatballs and a Kaisa. And you saw Senna getting caught out there. That's someone with no mobility. The cleanse wasn't up. But she's just not going to die because there's just not enough damage on the Panthers.
She did burn the cleanse, but I mean the cleanse was enough to keep her alive.
That's true, yeah. So yeah, we'll see another tower going across here. And the Wolves are using the Baron buff pretty well to get a lot of gold. Senna's also pushing top with it. Should be able to get that tower. Oh, and we'll see Pantheon going with an ult in.
Oh,
to see if
will
they
he
can
be
catch
able
up
to solo
Senna.
kill that Senna?
But Senna runs away.
She's gonna
really
run
well.
away. Runs pretty fast with that mist.
Yeah, and with that, they're actually able to keep up the tempo. They're dictating the game. They're taking turret by turret, and Panthers are just trying to scramble and respond, but just aren't able to keep up at this point.
They are making split calls. They're not able to come to a final decision, and things are just crumbling. The foundation is falling. Things are not looking very good in game number 1.
Yeah, I think like the last hope for Panthers here would be to try and get a cheese pick, get a red trinket going, go into the end, try and catch out the Karthus, because that guy's still gonna be clearing. He's gonna have to keep up his sequencing. So see if you can get a catch on him. That's a 700 gold shutdown on him right now.
One thing to note is the Panthers also have a game right after this, and if they do lose this, let's hope their mental stays. But the culling going to come through from the Fly is doing so much damage, and Gratis is just going to be able to walk away from this.
Yeah, and now it is coming towards that time. Less than 1 minute to the dragon.
Dallas going in on Draven, but Draven is just taking 0 damage. They're going to keep fighting. Draven is actually going to fall. That max % health damage coming through from the spin, from the Wukong. The Playful Trickster
Yeah,
is
and
going to be
with
able to
the
claim
Gore
that with the
Drinker,
Gore Drinker. Beautiful,
just not
beautiful.
gonna die.
I mean, the Maokai 05 is also down 70 CS. There's not much we can expect from him.
Yeah, and we can see two people being on top side. Swain does have the TP, but Kaisa doesn't. So we'll see what's going to happen with the dragon fight. Wukong is putting up so much pressure and still has a teleport to get back. So this is looking really good for the Wolves. Very clean play from them.
10 seconds left and Maokai is still dead. They do not have any flank wards for him either, so that champion is just not going to do very much in this next fight.
Oh my
And
god.
Kaisa is sitting top, but Wolven just taking so much damage.
Yeah, like Wukong just, if he had his ult there, then Kaisa was just dead.
She's not allowed to
But
play the game anymore. Oh, we're looking for Ingratus to come through with a miracle steal, but he's down 3 levels now. They're gonna try for it. No, Carthage is gonna claim this fight, and Ingratus is taking so much damage. The Aegis Assault is gonna try and keep him alive for a little bit longer, but he is going to fall.
Derek barely missed
Oh, the
that.
Dazzle Flash is also going to miss on the backside, but here comes the Requiem. Let's see if it takes down Nairo. No, it doesn't, but here comes Dallas. Dallas diff in the house, but Defoe is sitting in the middle of 3, is going to pop that Demonic Embrace, is going to be able to live. No, he's not. He is going to fall in the end, and those wings were not enough to fly him over to victory. Down he goes.
Yeah, and now with the Mountain Soul, they can just walk in. Wukong can do whatever he wants. This is his
Oh,
game.
forced flash from Wolven. Heal is also burned, but flash from the fly. Up goes Kaisa, down goes Kaisa. Knocked up,
Yeah,
stunned
Kaisa
up, down
uses
she
ult,
goes.
flash, tries to do damage to Wukong, but with the Mountain Soul, Wukong is just unkillable.
He is
at
a
this
tank.
point.
He is a tank now.
Yes, he is the Maokai now.
Down he goes, and game number 1 is looking to end right here, right now. We're going to see if the 3 are going to be able to defend it. The wave is looking very
Very
small.
good engage.
Oh, great engage coming from Nairo, able to knock up 4. But the Cosmic Radiance is going to keep them alive for so long into the tower. Draven falls, everyone's falling, and Gratis is going to take so much damage from the skills, but the foe is trying his best. He's trying his heart out. Down goes Gratis, and it's going to be a clean game here from the Wolves, and this is just going to be GG. Down goes triple kill for Pig Boss, and that is game number 1 in the books.
Yeah, a good last-ditch effort. They tried to get a good engage, but they just had no damage against the Mountain Soul comp, and really good play from the Wolves to keep up the pressure, not get caught out, and play a really clean game, honestly.
Yep. I mean, there's not much more that I can say is that game was played really well from the side of the Wolves. They were able to just keep up the pressure the entire game. And there were some moments where we saw some light coming out from the Panthers, but it just wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah, and it did end up playing out similar to how we had thought. It was going to be a fight for each team's win condition. Can Panthers get a good lead in the early game, or are they just going to be overwhelmed by the scaling of the Wolves, which ended up happening?
Definitely. But overall, well played from both teams. But
And
in the
shout
end,
out to
wasn't
my
enough.
important Booper. He made the Senna mid actually work out really
He made
well.
it work out. He made it work out. Very, very well played. But overall, good plays from both teams. So we are going to go over to a quick break while you guys can decide player of the game. But before we do, what do you think about the Wolves? How strong do you think they look? They are at the top of Pool A, and do you think they are looking stronger for the games coming up?
Yeah, honestly, they deserve to be at the top. They played this game super cleanly. That Karthus played out of his mind. His pathing was perfect. He did not get punished by Pantheon at all. And he was able to get really good ults to not only just kill people, but help out his team. For example, that one fight where he was ulting to help topside, that bot lane damage helped their bot lane push the other duo out of lane and get bot tower. So just really good play from him and really good stuff keeping up vision and not letting the squishies die early game. And Wukong also doing really well in his matchup to get ahead on the Maokai.
He was up, I believe, 20 CS in like 5 minutes. He was super strong throughout this entire game. So we are going to go over to a quick break while we do vote for a player of the game. We shall see you guys in just a few minutes. Don't go away. We still have game number 2 where the Panthers will hope to come back and win game number 2 tonight because they are facing the Wizards. And we shall see who comes out on top. See you guys in just a bit.
can I say? What can I do? All my feelings point back to you. How do I live? How do I choose? The fork roads make me lose. Out on my own, without a soul. Out on a stroll, make me feel whole, make me feel whole again. Make me feel whole again. Make me feel whole again. Make me feel Make me feel whole again.
Alright guys, welcome back. So, our player of the game was Mr. Dallas. Dallas Diff in chat, thank you very much everyone. Very, very nice to see. So it is Mr. Dallas, well-known player in this league, and he played really well. Couple of questionable decisions, but overall he did play pretty well. What do you think about this game, Karthik?
Yeah, I think really well played by the Wukong. That Maokai got put behind so much, and Wukong really played with his item breakpoints. When he got his core drinker and the Maokai didn't have items, he made sure to punish it, and he did really well in that top 3v3, which I think was really important because Karthik's got 2 Dark Harvest stacks. He was able to get fed off that, and then he wasn't like being punished by Pantheon at all after that. So being able to do really well in that top 3v3 and just stay solid in lane, always be a big presence. Like we could see in that fight for Mountain Soul, they had to send 2 to top lane for him to deal with them, or else he was just going to take their base.
And he still
Right,
won
so-
it.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was just
He played the pressure game very well. There were a couple of times he did get cut out, but that doesn't matter if you're able to just keep up the pressure with your lead. And he played the lane out really well. He took almost every opportunity given to him, and he was given an inch, he took a mile, and that's what happened this game.
Yeah, it was really well played. Honestly, like the whole team did play really well. I did have my doubts about the Senate mid. I thought that it would get camped, but she did really well by making sure to not overextend when she was pushing in and getting wards down so that Pantheon couldn't really punish her much other than that the times when she didn't have cleanse flash and when that support roamed up.
I think the Pantheon should have been a little more, you know, he should have had a bigger trigger finger. He should have looked for that Senna every time, even just to burn the cleanse. That's enough because he does have a Swain. He has a lot of follow up, and I think just being able to get that prio in the mid lane and then transition that into prio in the jungle would have helped out a lot.
Yeah, I felt like the Pantheon kind of tried to farm as much as he can to try and keep up with the Karthus, but you just have to accept that you're going to fall behind in farm and play for ganks. I would have liked to see him just go mid, like after doing blue gromp red, or even just going for a level 2 gank, which is just so unexpected.
Exactly.
And on top of that, you have to counter jungle the Karthus too, or else Karthus just gets to full clear for free. Imagine if Pantheon did blue gromp the enemy red and trying to kill the Karthus. I'd like to see stuff like that come out in the next game from them.
Exactly. And that's unfortunately what happens if a Karthus is able to get ahead. His ultimates were just chunking everyone for half their health bars, half life. And like you said, you got to punish the Karthus, and he just wasn't punished at all throughout the entire game.
Yeah, exactly. So really a shout out to him. He had really good pathing. His farm was just insane throughout the game.
I think he did have the highest CS in the game. Let's check that real quick. Stats wise, it was Dallas in the end who did have more CS, but throughout most of the game it was Pig Boss Move just slamming everyone else in farm. But Dallas did have a bunch of pressure up in the top lane, and that's where he did reclaim his advantage.
Yeah, I think that was really important for them because that's something that they were able to play off from the early game, and that's something that Panthers just weren't able to deal with. And the Wukong just got too fed. He got Herald down into his lane, and he just got a lot of gold income to just put Maokai out of the game.
And yes, Maokai does outscale Wukong, but if you're not allowed to scale, that doesn't matter. He was punished for almost every step he took, and if you're punished as a Maokai, you're barely a champion. He did not sacrifice enough experience, unfortunately, or enough CS, and he was already down 50 throughout most of the game. But Maokai needs a lot of XP, and unfortunately he just didn't have that. He was constantly down a level or even 2 throughout most of the game.
Yeah, and also another shout out to the bot lane. They did a lot. They got their own pressure. It really does come down to a skill matchup, in my opinion. Who can hit their stuff? If Lucian Terry can land their abilities, if Rel can get her stun off, and the Wolves make sure that they hit theirs and were able to dodge out what was given out by Rel, and they got a lot of kills by themselves too.
There were some nice engages from both supports, but I think Nairos came a little too late in the game. He was not able to find the early engages that they should have been looking for. I think they should have been looking for a more jungle bot or jungle support roam towards that mid lane or even towards that top lane to punish Wukong. He was very, very like the duo of Pantheon Rel is super strong because you're able to guarantee so much CC with just a Pantheon W. It makes it very difficult. So we are going to get into draft right here. So let's get over to that real quick, and we shall see what both teams have in store for us today.
Yeah, so we'll see what the Panthers can do on the other side of the matchup. Not against the same team, but they'll be on red side here. We'll see if they want to change up their playstyle or if they want to try again and hope to execute better. We start off with the Twitch ban.
Sneaky. Nice one. Good ban. It is a good pick because you can build him both AP and AD, and yes, AP is better right now. However, he is flexible, and just getting rid of that access point is super strong, followed by Skarner ban. Really not able to play that one.
Skarner is actually, believe it or not, the highest win rate jungler right now. So I'd like to see that ban coming across because that means the other team has put their time into it.
These bans are coming out fast, coming out quick. Grave Seraphine followed up by Diana Kaisa. So that
a bunch of comfort picks and a bunch of meta picks with the Kaisa and Graves coming along. We'll see what the first pick ends up being now that there's no Kaisa available.
They don't want to see Oath on that Kaisa, Oath on that Diana.
The Udyr coming across.
But here comes the Bear Man himself right away at number 1 pick.
Yeah, he is just so hard to play against if you don't have mobile carries. Udyr is just tearing apart the pro scene right now too. So I like to see that coming up as a first pick. And we'll see what Panthers can do if they want to try and match the farm-oriented playstyle, or if they want to go for something like the Pantheon to just gank and have a lot more impact.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. We are going to see the pick coming out in just a few seconds, and I'm wondering what it's going to be. Both teams are looking good today, though, but here comes the Kindred. Very interesting pick coming through.
Yeah, I really like the Kindred into the Udyr, actually, because not only are you able to kite really well, but when Udyr does get onto your backline, your ult really does good to disengage.
Ooh, here comes the Senna. Wolven loves that champion.
Yeah, the Senna coming across again.
2 games
we'll
in
see
a
if they
row.
want to put it mid, like their team did, or if they're going to keep it on ADC, which honestly just really works well. Support is also an option, a really big flex coming across as their second pick. We'll see what Wizards want to reply with.
I would love to see a Tom Kench. I want to see the big catfish.
Yeah, there's just no outplaying that lane as long as that lane plays it properly.
They don't even have to play well.
Yeah, and the Morgana coming across here, it is an interesting pick. Might be a comfort, or they might anticipate that Nairo plays a lot of aggressive supports like the Rel that he did play last game, and you're just not allowed to do anything against the Morgana with their Black Shield up.
So I would love to see, like I said, the Tom Kench here. It's a very good pick into the Morgana because you can't do anything. Like you said, it's basically a neutral lane state for the entire game. Morgana neutralizes lanes, but Tom Kench neutralizes them even more, especially in competitive play where you do have voice comms and are able to plan around his plan around his ultimate. So neutral game states all around coming through. Here comes the MF. Strong
the MF
pick.
Morgana lane is very strong. That is a really strong laning phase that they can push in, that they can get prio with, and enable Udyr to not only gank, but counter jungle the enemy Kindred.
They will. It's so easy to grab prio with the Morgana and MF combo. You're able to just Blackpool the backline and E it as the MF, make it rain, and just push waves really fast and make sure that Kindred is not able to clear. But it is going to be a set picked up for the Panthers. I'm wondering if it's going to be a fasting Senna pick coming from the Panthers.
Ooh, that would be really spicy. I really like that they picked the set here, even if they want to play top. It's a really good flex.
Even mid. The Stride Breaker build is incredibly strong right now. Stride Breaker Sterix Gauge, that set will never fall, he'll never die, and he has a gap closer that isn't his Q.
Yeah, honestly, the mid is an option. They're banning out mids like Xerath, who have the range to just completely stay away from set and not be able to be engaged on. So, and the Malzahar reply from the other team might be a comfort pick from Defoe. The Swain is still left up. We'll see if that'll be banned out.
That Swain did work last game.
Yeah, he actually played really well in my opinion. And the Shen coming out might be another ban for a comfort pick from Hitchstick.
Definitely. It is pretty crazy. But
yeah, overall, the amount of flexibility that Panthers have right now, I really like. The Senna can go multiple places, the set can go anywhere, and the Kindred is a nice jungler that doesn't really tell you what the team's identity is already.
I love having these flex picks. It makes the game so much more interesting than just having everything assigned already. We do see a brand ban followed up.
Brand can definitely be a very dangerous person to play against.
Especially
Honestly,
as
though,
the MF
I think
Morgana.
Udyr is good into him, but it might just be a comfort pick that they don't really want to face. We'll see what kind of picks are going to be coming out in the second phase, so that'll really round out the teams.
I do also think the brand ban is very good into the Morgana MF combo. Ooh, they're hovering the dog. I'd love to see some DKs coming out. And it is going to be locked in. Blind.
Wow, we'll see if Wizards can punish that, because you cannot just get away with a Nasus coming across like
Where's
that.
the scary dairy?
Yeah, I'd love to see some picks coming across to punish him, and with the Udyr being really good at ganks and keeping the tempo, Nasus can potentially not be allowed to play the game at all. So we'll see if Wizards can capitalize on this early blind pick Nasus.
I don't know how I feel about that pick being brought in B4 or R4. It's not ideal.
Yeah, so I think their main intention behind that is still to hide who's going where. We don't know if it's Senna ADC or support. We don't know if it's set mid or support, and they want to try and keep that suspense up. We'll see what Wizards want to answer with here. They're definitely thinking about it too as they're taking their time.
Oh, it's the bear. Volibear himself, very good into the Nasus.
Yeah, Volibear is one of those people who can keep up the sustain with the continuous W's and really make Nasus's life hell.
We shall see if he goes for the tank build or the bruiser build that was brought out by Whippo in the past couple of weeks. But overall, that champion is disgustingly strong in this current meta and is very good into certain meta picks and even into non-meta picks. He's just a very overall safe pick. And Oriana picked up.
Yeah, a stable mid lane pick coming in. Oriana is going to be very safe against the Kindred. There's
They
really
have a
not
lot
much
of ways
Kindred can
in.
force on her, and be able to bring people in with the shockwave and enable not only Morgana ulti but a nice MF ulti across the entire team while the Volibear jumps in. So a nice wombo combo that is enabled for them.
Most people don't know this, but the Udyr is also a form of engage with that ball on him. He runs at the speed of light, and everyone is just shocked and brought in
Yeah,
together.
the Oriana speed, the Morgana shield, that Udyr is gonna run at your Senna and just
Oh,
demolish
the
her.
Anivia was banned last game, but it's left up now, and it is picked up for Defoe. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Yeah, I think the Anivia is a good way to keep Udyr and Volibear around you, because you put up your wall and they have to just run around the entire thing. There's no way around it.
I do think Anivia overall is just a good pick at the moment, and into an Udyr, that just makes that pick even more valuable.
Yeah, I would like to point out actually, they have Anivia, they have Senna, they have Kindred. They can keep Udyr and even Volibear slowed and away from them. And even if they do get onto them, the Kindred is there for the ulti to keep them healthy and be able to kite out their engage. So we'll see how well the execution of the Panthers will come across this time, as it just barely wasn't enough last time.
And I do like the combo that they have drafted for themselves. They have a lot of area of effect, and into squishies, well, not really. It's only the Senna and Anivia that are really squishy, but you have a set. You have two meatballs to protect you.
Yeah, so I really want to see Blue Side Wizards being proactive in the early game, punishing that Nasus, because their top jungle duo is just going to be stronger early game. Udyr's Phoenix stance has such good base numbers that his damage is not going to be able to be easily dealt with by the Nasus.
That's why you don't even need to build damage on that champion anymore. You can just build full tank, and you'll still one-shot any AD carry at the game.
Yeah. Yeah, on the other hand, Kindred is obviously not going to clear as fast, so I do want to see her 5 camping and skipping something like Krugs, which takes her a really long time to try and match that topside scuttle fight. Anivia and Oriana is going to be fairly equivalent, so we'll see how the wave management ends up being. After Anivia hits 6, Oriana just cannot match the amount of wave clear that she has, and this should really enable Kindred to have that lane prio, and they should try and look for some counter jungling, or Udyr's just gonna run away with it in terms of farming compared to Kindred.
And overall, Udyr is very good at ganking, especially into immobile champions like the Senna. I would love to see some Swifty boots come out from him, because there are a lot of slows from the Kindred, from the Anivia, from the Nasus, from the Senna.
Yeah, they actually have so many slows. Honestly, like
4 members.
That's true. And we didn't really talk about the bot lane matchup much. MF Morgana into Senna set. We'll see how well the Senna can scale. They're definitely not going to be able to push in, or MF and Morgana will be able to push in the Senna and set early game. So Udyr has a lot of chances to just go into the enemy bot side jungle and even the top side jungle with a Volibear prio before Anivia hits 6. So I do want to see him counter jungling the Kindred, because Kindred just doesn't clear as fast, and until Anivia gets her 6, she cannot have that insane wave clear that you see from Anivia's to keep lane prio. So this time it's not on the onus of the Panthers, but the onus of the Wizards to be proactive in early game and use their winning lanes to get people like their laners and the Udyr ahead.
One thing to note is it's very hard for the Wizards to engage on the bot lane, because it is Senna set. Set, like most people know, takes very little damage and is able to punch back just as powerful. So they are going to have to look for those ganks, or those invades, especially like you said, towards that Kindred to make sure she's not allowed to play the game. And especially onto that Nasus too. They need to make sure these late game win cons are removed as early as possible.
Yeah, so looking at the lanes, I think mid probably shouldn't be that volatile because both mages can keep their distance. And bot, MF and Morgana, kind of hard for them to kill the enemy bot lane unless the Morgana is just a smurf with their Qs. And Senna and Set, Morgana's Black Shield can kind of stop any Set all-in from happening, so should kind of just, I'd like to see MF and Morgana just focusing on the minion waves and getting the push, because a Kindred's gank is not the same as an Udyr gank. It's not that scary, and they should be able to walk away from it simply. So I want to see them getting prio, even looking for plates, and trying to get their lead early game, or else Senna does scale insanely well. And with the Kraken Slayer build that she's probably going to go, Udyr and Volibear are going to melt.
Definitely, definitely. I think the entire side of the Panthers is a very scary look to have. They scale incredibly well, and I do have to give scaling edge over to the Panthers. They've drafted a very scale-heavy comp, but once, like you said, very few winning lanes. They don't have many ways to make things happen. They have to look for mistakes from the side of the Wizards. The Wizards are the ones, like you said, who have to make things happen, and if they screw up, it's up to the Panthers to make sure those mistakes are punished.
Yeah, and I would also like to point out that like it's not the same as last game where if they don't get ahead early, they're just screwed. Orianna is a really good damage towards late game. Udyr is unkillable in the mid game and does have a point and click CC as long as he gets onto them, and they have a really good wombo combo. So they do have the edge early, but they have really good team fights as well. And if the Panthers aren't able to kite them out and play disengage properly, then they actually have an insane amount of disengage. Anivia wall, Senna slows. Set is a really good blocker. You can just pull in Udyr and Volley and push them away from the fight. So we'll see if they're able to disengage it well and keep the Wizards on their toes.
Definitely. It is going to be on the Wizards, like you said, but it's definitely going to be a very fun one to watch. They have a lot of combo, and wombo combos can win fights even in the late game. If you get that beautiful, beautiful engage from the Udyr Orianna combo or the Udyr Volibear combo, it's going to be a fun one to watch as everyone gets pulled towards a gigantic MF ulti flying towards them. Nice bullet time.
Yeah, and on the other hand, if Volibear isn't able to punish the Nasus if Udyr doesn't come for ganks, Nasus will scale up and he will be very hard to fight. MF will get 3 Qs on her and she's dead. Same with Morgana, Orianna too. If they're not able to kite him out, then Nasus will be very scary late game.
So we are going to go to a quick break, everyone. Predictions are open in case you do want to play some tokens on either team. So we'll see you guys back here in just a couple minutes. Be back. Take care, everyone. See you then.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like them, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
All right, everyone.
The night is young
Welcome
and I
back.
think this could go
Here we
far.
are for game number 2, where the Panthers are looking to redeem themselves for game number 1 up against the Wizards. So Panthers are on red side with the Wizards on blue side, and I'm very excited to see what we have for here. Both drafts looking very, very strong. So we'll see what happens. I think ease of execution does have to go over to the Wizards, but scaling is clearly in the favor of the Panthers with 3 infinitely scaling champions.
Yeah, I think both drafts are solid. I don't see any lane being very scary other than top lane. So I do want to see the junglers trying to focus on that lane, like Udyr trying to gank the Nasus, Kindred trying to counter gank and help the Nasus unfreeze waves, things like that. It looks to be a very standard setup in the early game for both two teams, just covering the 5 entrances, and don't think too much would happen. I like the ward coming out from the Udyr. We'll see if he gets the red trinket here. He does. So that's really going to help him enable some ganks that he can put on top lane. He's probably going. I'd like to see him going from bot to top and then going after the Nasus early game and seeing if he can get a flash or anything.
We do see the Doran's ring coming out from the Volibear. I like that start. It's very good into lanes where you know you're going to win. It gives you that mana sustain that you want, helps you stay in lane longer, and overall gives you a lot more damage because you have some good AP ratios, especially in the early game.
Yeah, and on the other hand, you see the tier shard coming from Orianna. I'm personally not that big of a fan of it because that means you do have that extra mana regen, but the D ring just provides so much as a starting item in comparison.
Health,
What do you think?
AP, mana sustain. It's everything you want. And look at that trade coming out from the
Oh
top
my
lane.
God.
That Doran's ring start doing so much work.
Yeah, Volibear is just going to be insanely strong. One thing to point out though is that he did push his wave extremely hard, and it's sitting nicely in front of Nasus' tower, which means it's not very gankable. I do want to see Volibear try and push this in and get it bounced back
Get a
before
cheater
Udyr
recall.
comes here. Yeah,
That's what I'm
he
looking
could cheater
for.
recall, or he can push it back and Udyr can look for a gank, because Nasus just should not be able to be allowed to walk up here.
We see level 2 advantage coming through from the side of the Wizards. Nairo is going to grab that level 2 with the set punch. Ooh, nice
And-
stun coming from Defoe. A lot of damage going over onto the Orianna. She's very low on HP, but here comes a fight in the bot lane. Last Embrace not going to catch anyone out, but good trade coming out from the side of the Wizards. They are going to take the health advantage there, but potions burn on both sides. Or
Yeah, in mid lane, Orianna's trying to trade with the Deering Anivia while she has just a
tier.
tier, so if she's not able to dodge that stun, she loses that trade really hard.
another trade coming out from the top lane. Hitstick doing a lot of damage, but so does the Nasus. Not able to land that second W, not able to get that healing, and is actually going to lose out on that trade.
Yeah, Nasus getting that Q amplification. And actually, Kindred is skipping 2 of her camps here and
She's
looking for an
the
early
gank
gank
on the
here.
volley bear. He is going
It
to
is
be withered
warded,
up. He's
but
going to be
volley, I
slowed
don't
down,
think
but
it
here's
is.
that damage. Hitstick going to have to flash for the kill here. Flash chomp, down he goes, and Gratis is probably going to grab this kill, so it is a 1-for-1 in the end, but flash burned for Hitstick up in the top lane. That volley bear, very flashish, very juicy.
Yeah, Volley has been focusing on his lane. He did a good job by warding the tri-bush, but he didn't see that come across.
Uh-oh.
Udyr is going to
and
be
Gratis
able
is
to
looking to
go
get
on
caught out
Kindred
here. Here comes Reeling, looking to run away. He's going to be stunned up. Bear slap. Phoenix doing so much damage, and here comes the bear able to pick up that kill, but here comes a fight. Red Wheelbarrow is going to get stunned up. That Black Shield going to come out late. Here comes the Haymaker, but not going to do enough. Is forced to flash. Morgana is going to have to run away, and a summoner for nothing. Pretty nice. But another good trade coming out from Hitstick,
my
doing
God,
so much
Volley
damage to
Bear
that
hurts so
Nasus.
much.
Defoe is taking a pretty massive trade up in the mid lane. He still has passive, but that Orianna also has no mana. The wall is going to come through that electrocute prog, doing so much
Yeah,
work.
Orianna, even though she has the tier, she had a very good push and rotated to help with the scuttle. And because they got the scuttle, Udyr got the move speed boost, and they were able to collapse on Kindred and get the kill.
It's a good pickup. I do see the Vamp Scepter coming out. Oh, beautiful stun from Defoe. Flash E. That icicle is doing so much damage. Black Shield is going to be used, but Nairo's going to miss the stun. No face breaker today.
Yeah, and you can see why that Anivia was banned against him last game. He's been hitting his stuns, which aren't the easiest things to hit. And he's punishing the Orianna for going tier. And now Orianna still doesn't have a D rank. She's gone for just a bit more mana regen and AP, which doesn't provide the same as what a normal D rank would.
The value from a D ring far outweighs the value of a tier early game. And sure, you do get to stack it earlier, but that doesn't really matter when you're just losing lane.
Yeah, and Kindred had gone for a gamble. We'll
Oh,
see Set
flash
trying to
stun
do
from the
something
set.
here.
The face breaker is going to land. Flash is forced from Devil's Alter Ego. Here comes the Senna walking forward, Ignite onto the MF, and she might fall. No, she is able to get out of that true damage from the Haymaker. And Defoe, once again, doing so much work on that Anivia, able to stop the trade with the wall.
Yeah, the sweet spot barely misses on set W there, or MF would have been a goner. It's actually a really close one. I like the aggressive plays from set when the Morgana Black Shield comes across early on herself.
He just
you can go
walks
on
for the other one.
MF.
He just
Yeah, and now you'll see Anivia finally hitting 6. It is interesting that Anivia didn't get a tier. I really like getting that early game for the extra mana regen and scaling.
definitely.
This means she's definitely going to be running out of mana soon. We'll see if Kindred gives the second blue over, which helps the Anivia a ton to get that wave clear prio and be able to help with getting that
Uh-oh,
first
here
dragon.
comes a dive coming out from the Volley Bear. The Udyr is also topside. Here comes the Stormbringer. That tower is going to be disabled, but Volley is going to have to walk away. But the Udyr is coming through. Here comes the damage. Here comes the Phoenix Stance. Tiger Stance going to come through. He is taking a lot of damage from the minions. And down he goes, falling under his own tower. But Defoe is here to answer. But unfortunately, he's just going to have to take the wave as a consolation prize.
Yeah, I like the patience displayed by Volibear and Udyr. The initial dive that Volibear went for, Nasus flashed out, but they took their time, reset tower.
Oh
angle,
no,
and
Oath
Kindred
is going to
actually
get
looked
caught
for
out, and Gratis
Udyr.
is going to force the flash from Oath, but he's on the wrong side of the map. He's going to have to look for an execute.
Yeah, that he still has to survive like 10 more seconds, so they're all gonna be looking out for him. I'll see Set.
There are
wants to
pings
roam
coming
up
out for
here.
the Wolf Pit. And
Yeah,
Gratis
Set
is
should
looking
actually
for
head
it.
slash over the wall here and be able to
Oh,
catch
no.
him out. But
She's just
Oh
going to be
my
able to
God,
walk it
Orianna
out.
gets
She's
that.
out. Doesn't even have to execute. Sneaky, sneaky. Nice one. Good job, Oath. You love to see it. That could have been a lot worse than it was.
yeah, and Volibear is just hammering down, and he's getting a really good CS lead here. But you can also see from the Udyr. Udyr still is gonna clear from bot to top and increase his lead. We'll see if Kindred can go for the scuttle mark that's popped up right now, or if Udyr wants to grab it first.
We do see Defoe going out to try and get some prio for the Kindred. Probably placing
And is
some
Anivia
wards.
trying to take scuttle there?
Oh,
That is really
that is interesting. Black Pool is going to land, and the root is going to go wide.
Yeah, Nivea actually took scuttle there.
Okay.
Udyr's trying to make a move for dragon
Oh.
here.
Do they know is the
And
question.
That's gonna look for the E again, but isn't
He's
able
able
to
to
get it.
force so hard onto the entire bot lane, but here comes the bear. He is going to run. Set might just fall here. He's going to look for the way around. They are just going to take the set kill here as consolation. Haymaker is going to do so much damage, but it's not enough. Devil's Alter Ego able to claim that kill up in the bot lane.
Yeah, and with this lead, this should transition into an ocean now that both bot and mid are pushed. Anivia was kind of just sitting near the bush instead of trying to push in her mid lane, so now she still has to go back and collect it, and Kindred just has to do her top side. What I would kind of like to see is Kindred, instead of going for her red, trying to go for the enemy's top side jumbo, because you know Udyr is bot right now, and see if he can grab the blue.
They are looking towards that. They are going to collapse. Maybe they will catch out Oath. They do have vision on him. They are collapsing.
Yeah,
But
good job by
they do have the
Orianna
blast
catching
cone.
Eagle with it.
Is not able to take it out. Shockwave is going to follow through. Oh, here comes the Senna R, but he's so low. Oath is going to finally fall. The execute damage is going to come through. And they are going to be able to walk it out. Flash was forced from Gratis though.
You can see how frustrating the Morgana is. Senna lands a root, Set tries to go in, Morgana just says no.
Very fun. It's a very interactive lane. But Nairo also just takes 0 damage.
Yeah, and you can see the blue actually, not only was Kindred able to take it, they were able to give it to the Anivia, which is huge. And Nasus picks up the enemy Grom, so really good counter jungling and transition to a Herald here by Panthers.
That is a very good call. They are leaving their bot side on the weak side, but it's worth it for a Herald.
Yeah, they were able to catch Orianna on a back timer and be able to use that to get so much.
They are
here.
looking to collapse here, though. Everyone is nearby. Reeleen is going to land the Bear Slap onto Gratis, and he's going to take half his health from just a Phoenix Stand. Lamb's Respite is going to come out. Anivia is zoned out of the fight. They are looking to try and maybe turn it. Reeleen is going to finally fall. Hitstick is just sitting in the middle of Anivia R, is taking so much damage, but here comes the Stormbreaker. He is doing so much damage. He's going to flash, is going to be able to claim that kill with the Q, with the stun. The Bear Slap going to claim that, but down goes the Volley Bear. Oh, but Set is going to take
bot lane
so
fight
much
coming
damage.
across
Another
here too.
fight. Oh my god.
Does he tick down?
Is he gonna? No,
MF
he's
has
not. He's
flash
running
in
away.
2
She has
seconds.
flash. She has flash. Is she gonna go for it? Set runs. Oh, heck, flash coming up from the set. Is gonna be able to get away with that summoner burn. No flash follow from Devil's Alter Ego.
Yeah, and if you remember, Set actually traded his flash for MF flash, so his should be up literally a moment sooner than MF, so it was really good for him to flash instantly, or else MF would have got the auto on him.
And the Nimbus Cloak helping him run away. Love that. Oh, Blue Spike coming through from Angratis is going to be able to land the slow. And here comes the execute damage. So much damage onto Oath. And it doesn't matter because Angratis has the lifesteal. He's going to be able to sustain in the jungle. But here comes Hitstick trying again for another trade. And it's going so well in his favor.
At this point, Nasus has tabbies, so his trades aren't that good. But Volibear, in my opinion, is just making a mistake by just continuously pushing. Sure, Nasus is going to get behind on CS, but he can stack safely under tower. What I'd like to see is Volibear actually try and freeze it so that Nasus has to walk up and then get punished by Udyr, who has a chem tank now and can just run him down.
Breleen gonna
Oh,
use
we
the
see
chem tank
that
onto Defoe. Running super fast. Shockwave is gonna land. Is gonna go into Agnivia form. That Phoenix is not gonna be able to revive. The other Phoenix, Breleen, is just a lot stronger than you. Down you go, Defoe.
And that is just classic Udyr there.
Aradon had the
don't
speed
see
of
in one
sound.
moment, second moment, you're just bear stance.
Bear slap to the face. Down you go. Udyr Phoenix is better than the real Phoenix. Cryo Phoenix, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that was actually really big for the Orianna because she's been down so much in CS.
It's
We'll see
going in
Volibear
for
going
another
for a
trade.
here.
He's chunking him down to a quarter HP already. The ulti going to be forced
Nasus has
from
no
Draven.
mana. Volibear
Here comes
just
Angratis. Hitstick is super low. Might be getting executed. Down he goes to the Lamb. But Oath is here. Oath is here running away. He has no shockwave though. And Defoe is going to follow up with his own TP. The stun is going to miss. And the R is going to land that Ice Storm doing so much damage to Oath. Both mid laners are TPing to keep their laners alive. Oh, here comes the bullet time, channeling right in the middle of Set's face. But that Haymaker keeping him alive for so long. Flash. Oh, here comes the Morgana, but Last Embrace is going to stop that from happening.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Oath might be caught out here. Is going to force the flash, the wall.
That bot lane play had so much potential. I would have liked to see them sync their abilities by using Morgana Q and then MF ulti, or Morgana ulti
Udyr's trying to get the
after MF.
Senna. Nah, he's not gonna.
Then I should be able to get away. Yeah, but I think the bot lane just wasn't synchronized enough to try and get a kill onto the enemy bot lane there, and this just ends up with them pushing in and being able to get a plate here still.
Another Rift Herald attempt is going to be claimed up. Hitstick is going to be stunned up against the wall. He's going to use that shield to keep himself alive, but this Herald is going to be claimed by Angratis.
Yeah, and the game is still wide open here. It's 6-6, and the early game prowess of blue side gives them a bit of an edge here, but honestly, both teams are holding up really well.
That's
Set
a lot of
does get
damage there onto the
stunned, but
set.
Can't really do much there.
A lot of damage.
Yeah, it was a good use by WE to get rid of the extra damage that would come to him too. We can see the next dragon coming up here.
Here comes the Hex Flash over onto red. The Black Shield is going to come through.
Good Black Shield.
And they are just running here, but down it goes. Here
That's
comes the
an ult.
Showstopper, but he's so low. But down goes Real Barrow. He's going to fall. Reeline is stuck over the wall. He can't get over. He has no flash. He's stuck in the Ice Storm. But MF is putting out so much damage over the wall. The DPS is insane. But Rift Herald is going to be summoned up in the mid lane. And this turret is probably going to fall.
Yeah, that was a beautiful wall by Anivia to just split the team in two. MF was helpless. She couldn't help Morgana there at all. And a beautiful pickup by the set too.
Beautiful trades coming out here. Angratis is going to queue over onto... Oh, he's taking so much damage. And the Lamb is going to pick up another one. Kill number 3. Going over to Angratis.
Beautiful comboing from the Kindred to keep resetting his Q timer. And he's able to pick up the red buff because of that. And because Orianna's dead, that should be a free dragon here.
Udyr is alive. And he is the same level. So there is no spike difference. But here comes another trade up in the top side. And both are not really doing very much damage, but it is going to be claimed up by the set here. Cloud Drake going over to the Panthers.
Yeah, I think for top is literally whose mana pool runs out first. Can't really kill each other. They both have so much sustain.
Oh,
It is interesting.
and Gratis is looking for a kill on
Kindred.
Devil's Alter Ego. Oh, he is going to flash, but he is going to fall. Down he goes, but Draven taking so much damage.
He tried to get
He
the quick kill
tried.
and then ulti, but was just barely not able to. I like the attempt though.
The attempt was nice to see.
Yeah, and now Orianna is just so far behind. she is an insane amount of CS behind, and when she does push it up, it's very risky for her to keep getting the next wave because she doesn't have a tower to fall back on, and that inner tower is almost dead either because the Herald wasn't being, they weren't able to respond to it, and it was able to get a second charge off here.
And like you said, it's a late game scaling team, but they're doing very well here, not giving very much up in the way of deaths. They're up 2 kills,
Yeah.
in fact, and up a little bit of gold too.
And I think once Nasus finishes his item, I don't think Volibear has the same kind of lead anymore.
Especially since he
And,
went chem tank. No, he does not.
Yeah, going to King Tank, I think he's playing more for the team fights to be able to get on people like Kindred, Anivia, and Senna. But against Nasus, it does not help too much.
I personally would have liked to see a Divine Sunder. I know it's called Divine Blunderer, but it's a really good item on the volley because it's an
Kindred
8 sustain.
coming
But
in
here comes
here
the
again.
Kindred. The Stormberg are going to do some damage, but and Gratis coming up in the top, so they're going to be able to claim another one on hit stick. And down
Yeah,
he goes
honestly,
again. Another
I
fight
think
in
he
the
should
mid lane.
try
That damage coming through from the Anivia so much. But here comes Nairo, is going to be able to pull him with the Haymaker, or with the Facebreaker, but the Anivia is going to flash forward. Defoe going to be able to claim another one, but here comes Relane up on Ingratus. The blue spite's going to come through with both junglers, but the Q over the wall, but the flash followed by Relane. It's going to be a fight, but Relane takes 0 damage. He is Udyr, but here comes Defoe, coming to the back of his jungler, and here comes the entire squad. They're coming through, and Relane is going to be forced to back off, while Wolvin is just chilling on the bot lane, trying his
Yeah,
best to stay
Udyr
alive.
is just insanely tanky, and Kindred, despite playing really well, just can't do anything. Even if you hop around the wall, he'll just run around it really quick.
He
But
flashed
good thing
over.
his teammates were there for the rest.
Beautiful wall from Defoe once again. Oh, that damage coming through is not very much. But here comes the Volley Bear, looking for it. Hit stick is going to be
Chem
able
tank.
to land it. The Chem Tank slow, but he's taking so much damage. Relane gonna look. Here comes the Showstopper onto Relane. He actually took a lot of damage from that, but the Haymaker is gonna go wide. But and Gratis is able to claim it up with that
Udyr was
auto.
tanking autos in the Kindred. I don't think he saw
Oh,
him in the
and
bush.
Gratis is looking for another one on Oath, but he's queuing forward into a Devil's Alter Ego. Here comes the Lamb's Rest, but keeping them alive. But Kindred is also sitting at 1 HP. He is in the Cryo Storm. Devil's Alter Ego is going to get claimed with a punch to the face, but Nairo is going to take so much damage from the Bear. The Bear is still very strong up in these team fights. Red Wheelbarrow is going to flash forward, and is probably going to be able to claim that kill. Agnivia is going to be forced, and it is looking to be a dead Phoenix. Who's it going to take it? It's going to be the Bear. Nom nom nom. He is hungry tonight.
Yeah, a bunch of plays coming across as these two teams are just going at it, trying to just outplay each other, and it ends up with just a lot of deaths on each side, and one tower being actually gained by Red, which was almost dead already. And I want to see them catching their resources here. You can see both sides of the jungle being up for Kindred. She should start pathing from top to bottom and be ready for that dragon. And now that she is Pork and Shield Bow, she is not only going to be hard to kill, but she's going to do a lot of damage to Udyr and Volley. And you saw her burst the MF earlier already too.
So we did take a look at the NASA stacks. He's sitting at 252, a little bit behind the curve. I would like to see him at 300, but because he is into a hard lane matchup, I do understand why he is behind.
Yeah, and now he has the Divine Sunder, and I think he straight up outtrades Volibear. I would like to see him also try and get some healing reduction. Volibear has picked up the Bramble Bush, which
Oh,
should
it's gonna
help
be
him
caught out
get
again.
out.
Flash is forced because of the slow and the Kindred, but here comes the Shockwave. But it's not gonna really matter. But there is a trade going up on the top side. Draven has taken so much damage. Nairo is caught in a bad position. Gonna have to run away. But the Gale Force forward. Here comes the Showstopper, but it's not gonna do anything. He's gonna shortstopper into 3. But here comes Ingratus on the side, but no
Udyr
flash
is
from
so
Relane.
fast,
He's so
he
fast.
cannot get around the wall.
TP is coming in from the dog himself. Here he comes. Oh, here comes the Bear. Both TPs were burned. Top laners are duking it out here, but one top laner has his teammates beside him. Here comes the Stormbreaker. Flash is forced. And here comes the bullet time. The root is going to go wide. And down goes the dog, claimed up by Misfortune.
Anivia is taking this opportunity to try and get mid tower, but Orianna responds with the TP, and this should be the Mountain Dragon going over to Udyr here.
Oh no, a Mountain Soul on an Udyr? That is not something you want to see.
Yeah, and it was an interesting choice that Kindred went for the Shield Bow as opposed to another mythic like the Kraken Slayer. just shows that he really wants to stay alive and keep playing the disengage game. I think at this point, Kindred and Anivia just do insane amounts of damage.
Oh,
Volibear just
Hitstick
walking
might
in.
be caught out. He is sitting right in the Cryostorm, taking so much damage. That Leandri's burn doing so much, and the Senna R is going to do a lot
Switched out
there.
points.
It's really helpful. The Dawning Shadow, super helpful there. That was a
Yeah,
great
let's see if they
ultimate.
want to go
Here
Baron.
comes Ingratus onto Oath again. He's going to be caught on Flash 4. The Shockwave, the ball is going to miss. Down goes Ingratus. Here comes the Lamb's Respite, keeping him alive. He did not fall in the end. Good ultimate coming out
Yeah,
from Ingratus.
perfect Kindred play. You want to flash forward, make sure you get the kill, and then pop your ulti until your team can come support you. He played that perfectly well. He has a lot of mastery points on that Kindred, and he is showing it off.
And another blue buff going over to the foe. His mana pool is super low. Don't take that Nairo, I swear. It is going to go over to the foe just as his mana pool runs to 0.
Yeah, I think this is the third time that they've been able to invade the top jungle of Udyr, and Udyr is still ahead in CS by a bit, but he technically should be
Uh-oh.
up
Devil's ulti
more.
go flash. Down it goes. He is forced to burn that summoner because he was caught up in the no tier 2 mid lane. Oh, they are playing with fire, and they're paying for it with summoners.
Yeah, look at the amount of vision that the amount of red wards that are in the top jungle of blue side. It is just literally
Another
gorgeous.
fight coming
We
out.
see
Here
a
comes
fight coming
Nairo,
across.
but Draven is doing
What's that
0
tier to
damage. The Volibear just doing so much. Here comes the Stormbringer, but here comes the dog. Oh, the showstopper, but that healing from Volley is keeping him alive for so long. He is taking 0 damage. Draven is trying his best, but here comes Releen. He ran as fast as he could, flashes forth in the Cryostorm, his hit stick, and he's gonna fall to Draven in the end.
Yeah, and just a simple numbers advantage. It was still
Oh,
extremely
Releen gonna
close.
land the flash stun.
Oh.
Here comes the E. Oh, the Icicle gonna do so much damage, but here comes the Everfrost, keeping the foe in place.
Oh, and not the best wall there.
Uh-oh, the wall is going to keep him alive, however. The
Might
stun
end
is
up
going to
taking
follow
out
through, but
Ignite.
Resurrection, he has no damage. It's up to Draven to keep him alive, and Gale Force Ford is going to claim that dog. Down goes the dog, but Defoe, beautiful wall, keeping the entire team out of that tri-bush. Look at that pathing from the Orianna.
Yeah, better wall this time to get across. And during this time, Kindred is picking up that bot tower. A lot of gold coming across her. She's in a good position to carry this game now.
Sitting at 7, 4, and 5 with 2 items, the Shield Bow and the Blade of the Ruined King. She is very strong. Honestly, what I would like to
Yeah.
see out of her is some armor penetration. I'd love to see either the Cyrilla's Grudge or the Lord Doms, because the Udyr and the Volley have built full armor.
Yeah, definitely an armor pin item would help a ton. I'd love to see the Cyrilla's Grudge to help keep up that kiting. And I talked about the Kindred, but on the other hand, the MF is now 6-1. He
She is
has her
super
item
strong.
powered spike, and she has a Gale Force to get away from that set engage, the Anivia Q. So if she uses it well, she's the person to play around right now.
One thing to
for
note,
their team.
Wolven is sitting on 7 assists. He's playing that support game, but here comes the Deer looking to catch out
Oh my
Ingratus. He goes
God,
so
fast.
fast, he's barely going to be able to get out with that corner hop. Let's check out Senna's stack. She's sitting at 37, a little behind the curve. Would have liked to see 40. But
Yeah,
the
Senna
farm
is a bit
very-
behind in the stack game, and she's doing a decent job of getting farm. Obviously could be better, but still decent.
Oh,
she
that
does
really
still-
can't run
oh,
away
wow.
from this.
I think he can. He is Udyr.
Oh, Wheelbarrow is going to be forced to flash. Udyr is trying to run away. Showstopper going to come forward.
Oh, the
On
Senna
relay
ult
to-
to
Oh
kill.
no, Kindred and Gratis is going to burn. Oh, no, he was
And
dead.
MF barely
not in
had
the
the
Lamb's
ult.
Respite, not in the but he's going to get Goomba stopped by the Volley Bear. But he is going to fall at the end. Wolven Alchemist going to claim that one. They are looking for the Baron. They have almost killed everyone, but there is a jungler still alive. So this could be a risky play. They are going to have to look for the turn.
Yeah, and I think it's come down to the point that if Red Team is first to the objective, it's very hard for people like Udyr and Volibear to just walk in there when there's Senna slows, there's Anivia wall, Anivia ulti, and a set zoning
Oh,
them.
Everfrost is
Like
going to be...
Orianna, it's so hard for her to walk up here.
Yeah. Cryostorm is going to come out, is going to try and burn that Baron. Udyr is sitting down on the bot side doing his Krugs.
Yeah, he is trying to catch up in form, I guess, and looking at that dragon. I actually like that from Udyr. He knows he can't walk in there. Try and use the tempo, try and get the dragon. Instead of doing Krugs, I would like to see him try and counter jungle when you know exactly where the enemy team is.
They
but
are going to
getting
be
the
able to claim
dragon here
this
is
dragon
definitely
up.
good. Yeah, this has really become their win condition, assuming that they get this here. They should be able to burst it fast enough.
It is going to be claimed.
Yeah, so
And
that is
one-
Soul Point coming across. Them having Mountain Soul also helps a lot with being able to get in there without just getting one shot.
Uh-oh, Relene running fast as lightning is going to stun up Angratis with the Bear Slap, but he's going to take so much damage from Defoe, and he's going to fall to Angratis in the end. That wall keeping him stuck in there. No way out
and
for you.
Anivia has reached her core items here. She has Leandri's Demonic plus a Sword Boost.
Oh,
She does
Red might be
so
caught out,
much.
flashing over the flashing over the root, and the Showstopper going to keep hit stick off Angratis. Nairo might just be the sacrificial lamb, keeping Angratis alive. Does have the red buff, is going to sustain, and the last embrace is going to land onto the volley, but they might just look to turn this fight slowed up. And looking for the Kindred, he is going to be pulled back. The bullet time is going to fall over Nairo, but he takes 0 damage from that. But here comes Defoe. Is going to miss the stun. Shockwave is going to land. Defoe taking so much damage. The Collector is going to take that kill before the Senna R is able to come through. That Dawning Shadow coming in just a little too late. And Nivea is going to be rooted up under her tower. Oh, down it goes with the Lamb's Respite, keeping himself alive, but he is stuck in a bad spot. Down he goes just outside. The Collector is going to be able to take that one. Nairo taking so much damage. Might be able to take the MF. No, MF is able to live. Alter Ego is sitting at 9-2, very strong.
Yeah, and the Panthers are just playing so aggressive. They're forcing fights, they're exerting pressure, and this is allowing Nasus to stack up, and he should be able to get this tower here.
He is able to claim that up. Sitting at 124 farm with about 378 stacks. He is catching up. He's still a little behind the curve, but hey, that doesn't matter when you're catching up.
Yeah, I think both top laners are a bit behind in farm. The main farm difference I'd actually like to look at is Anivia versus Orianna.
Ooh.
You see Orianna at an Everfrost and Sork boots, but Anivia has 2 items, has boots and the Verdant Barrier, which is scaling really well just by holding on to it for a bit.
She knows
So
she has to
is
stay
just
alive.
so much further ahead.
Defoe knows that he has to stay alive. He needs to output that damage. So having that safety is going to be crucial to this game.
Yeah, Anivia's at the point where if she lands her Q, that's in one-shot territory. If she has Electrocute, she's going to burst you really hard.
That is lethal range. And the Senna has completed her core items too with that Kraken Slayer, with the Rage Blade. She is a monster to be reckoned with. We can't also discredit Devil's Alter Ego. He is super strong. He's looking to complete that Infinity Edge. He has picked up that Executioner's Calling, very good. Especially into that Kindred, into that Nasus, into the Senna. Good pickup.
Yeah, really good pickup there. I know like you want to get your core items, but picking up the healing reduction is very important and can go a long way.
I know a lot of low elo players who just never build that item. Oh, and Gratis might be
in a
caught
tough
out
spot
here,
here.
caught in a bad spot. No Lamb's Respite actually does have it. It's gonna proc. It's gonna stay alive. Oath is taking so much damage. Oh no, he autoed the wrong target. He autoed red, and he's actually gonna fall. The Dawning Shadow not gonna be able to help. Facebreaker not available. No Showstopper, and Relene is just gonna run at Defoe. This might just be the throw of the game. Flash over. Is going to be able to run away, but Defoe is actually able to kill Red just in time. Relene is trying to run, but he's taking so much damage. It's going to be slowed up for infinity.
Yeah, and it's those little margins, getting that auto off versus not getting it off. You can see the power of Kindred. Her ult actually came up instantly at that second. It wasn't up until then. So if they had forced that play a millisecond sooner, this game would have been different right now.
If Angratis was able to take that kill earlier, get that Triumph proc, maybe, just maybe sustain a little bit more.
Yeah,
could have been a
and
game changer.
again, you can see the amount of vision that the Panthers are putting across. You can see the amount of wards that they've littered all across the blue side jungle, and that's helping them pick up these picks hopefully in the late game when it comes across to the dragons. Because Wizards are on soul point. So if they can get another dragon, this is a very big win condition for them to play for.
So one thing to note, the Udyr is building towards that Lichbane instead of the Force of Nature. And I think Force of Nature would be really good into the Anivia, because all her damage is tick-based.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. He's trying to go for more damage-oriented build. We'll see if that ends up paying off. He wants to put on the carry pants. But it all depends on if he's actually able to get through Panther's zoning and actually be able to get on that back line and survive Kindred ulti.
I think he is looking for that damage, but Relene is going to run forward towards Defoe, but he has the Verdant, he has the Banshee's Veil. That Showstopper is going to keep him alive, but Nairo is probably going to be the sacrificial lamb, is forced to flash, but the Cryostorm doing so much damage, but Defoe is also very low. Both of them are able to walk away with their lives. And Gratis on the other side of the fight is doing so much damage. Lance Respite is going to come over, but he's stuck in a bad spot, stuck in a rock between Hearts place. But there comes another fight on the backside. Down goes Red, and a beautiful, beautiful face breaker or showstopper or haymaker onto the side of the entire team. And ooh, the Wither's gonna come through, and down he goes, bonked on the head. The dog has claimed his kill. Hungry
Yeah,
man.
and that was just really good disengage. Volibear ulting, you counter with the Kindred ult, and you walk away slowly from it. The set stays alive, and they're able to pick up that Mountain Dragon to postpone the Dragon win con of Wizards by another 5 minutes.
You've never expected to see a Senna flank, but she did, and she was able to take down the support. And they might just look to turn this into a Baron.
Yeah, this should be an easy Baron pickup for them. Nasus is getting a big read, trying to go for towers. I'm not sure who's going to be tanking up this Baron, or if they have to wait for the set. We'll see what ends up happening here.
We shall see. We shall see. They are pinging it. Blue side does know it is happening, but the foe's taking so much damage. It also has no mana.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you have someone who's tanking, because the person who's tanking also does less damage to the Baron. So Senna was barely touching it while Nivea was almost
Here
dying.
comes
But
the
she does have the
dog.
TP here.
TP is also
And
going
she
to
is
follow
able to
through, so
get
they
it.
are going to be able to claim this Baron up. Second Baron for red side coming through.
Yeah, and Udi is just barely not able to get there in time, and that's a free Baron for them.
Baron for nothing. TP was burned though, so not the end of the world, but it is going to be tough for them to push or to survive the siege. They only have the Orianna. That's their only source of wave clear against these Baroned up minions.
Yeah, and I really think that the damage dealers on the Panthers are just so fed. They have their key items. Anivia has her Banshees, but it actually just gets
Oh,
popped
the wall
off now,
oath is
so-
stuck on the other side, but
beautiful
shockwave
shockwave.
onto 3, but it doesn't matter, it doesn't do that much. But here comes the showstopper onto Really, bringing him into the backline. That face breaker is not going to do very much. Haymaker not doing much as well. That Lance Respite is going to keep Nairo just alive. Sugar Daddy Draven is still alive, is tanking it up in that fight, and Gratis is going to be able to claim one on the backside. But here comes then Gratis again, able to claim another 2. So much happening on the side, just outside of their base, and down go the Wizards. This could just be game here. This could be a game-ending push.
Yeah, with Baron buff, they don't even need to even get that inhib. There's minions forming Nexus turrets.
This is
should be
game. They're able to take home game number 2. They might have lost game number 1, but game number 2, they came back strong. They came back hard. But Oath might just be looking for another death. 1 and 9, make that 1 and 10. Down he
That
goes.
Kindred damage is so crazy. That rapid fire G coming across to help get the damage, and so much damage being dealt by the backline here to finish off the game.
Yep. Okay. What has happened to my stream? So my game has apparently frozen, but overall things were looking really, really interesting. Up until that point, that's probably game, but overall well
Yep, I
played.
can confirm it is game.
Yep. I mean, I think that was pretty expected in my opinion, but well played from the Panthers. They played that game extremely, extremely well. They are able to take home victory number 2. Good job. Well played.
Yeah, and I think it really came down to a bunch of key fights, right? There was both teams were playing to their win con. There was a lot of focus up top, but in those team fights, the Kindred ulti was massive disengage. Whenever Volibear would go in, or whenever they tried to catch out Kindred, the Kindred played really well, getting really good ults off and allowing their team to re-engage after they poked the front line out, and just they have more damage than the other team's backline, so they just went in.
That Lamb's Respite, like you said, that did it. That was the key to victory. Without that disengage, that could have been a lot worse. Any other jungler can't do what Kindred did. And she was also able to pop the Orianna time and time again. She was 1 in 10.
Yeah, really a decent mid diff coming off here. Huge CS lead, really good zoning. She kept landing those Qs during laning phase, and it was just insane the amount of damage that she was putting across with the electrocute, going for the early game power.
Defoe played out of his mind, and Gratis played out of his mind. Both players putting on their pants, doing the work, working 9 to 5. They were able to do it. And hey, they had a dog up in the top lane doing his job, absorbing some pressure. And
Yeah, and also you didn't see, even though you didn't see Nasus become that scary dog you see on league highlights, he did hold his own. He kept the Volibear at bay, and he didn't die that much. And that's what his job was. He was playing the weak side, and Kindred was able to roam around, take that top side jungle here so much. Really good roams by Anivia to help out with that too. And they kind of just suffocated the red team into just giving up their leads, and they just got stronger. And red tried to go for the dragons as their win con, but they were just not able to make it to that soul, even though they were on soul point, and that just ended up losing them the game.
Exactly. They tried their hardest out. It just wasn't enough. Oath was just constantly caught out. Only ended the game with 2 items. But one thing I'd love to mention, Unsung Hero coming out from the 80 carry, just taking it like a man. You know, his support was constantly out of lane, and the Senna was just not having the most fun time. But the farm, he was able to keep it up throughout the entire game, never below 10 away from Devil's Alter Ego, even though Alter Ego did have 13 kills in the end. He was very strong, but Unsung Hero,
Yeah, I think
0 deaths.
both
Perfect
ADCs
game.
played really well this game. MF made sure to stay in the back, pick up a lot of kills. She only has 4 deaths, even though she's on an immobile carry. And on the other hand, Senna also did really well. She actually had a lot of key Senna ults during the game too. And she ended up dealing a lot of damage and didn't die a single time, despite being against Udyr Volibear.
0 deaths. You love to see it. And one thing to note, Devil's Alter Ego using the Gale Force both offensively and defensively, using it to get out of the Cryostorms coming out from the Anivia, and also to claim kills, especially onto Angratis a couple of times too.
Yeah, totally. I think I remember that top lane fight where MF is just being so aggressive, and that's what you need to be. You can't be scared as an ADC, even though you gotta get one shot.
You have to do
You have to play
DPS.
on that thin line and be able to dodge the enemy skill shot while getting the DPS across.
You have to do the DPS. If you're not doing DPS, you're not a champion. And I know AD carry is a very scary role to play because everything can one-shot you. But if you're not playing aggressively, you're not doing anything. You're just a walking caster minion. And yes, AD carries are meant to scale. But if you're not doing DPS, you're not helping your team. So good on both members, both Wolven and Devil's Alter Ego. They played incredibly well tonight. So we are going to send it off to a quick break while you guys do vote for your player of the game. But in my opinion, I think Defoe played out of his mind, but that Kindred, I think those are the 2 candidates for me personally. What do you think, Carter?
Yeah, completely agree with you. That mid diff was huge. His KDA is insane. He's up so much in items. And I don't know if it was him or the jungler calling for those invades on the Udyr, but they did a great job of, even though they lost drags, they made sure to get stuff off of it. They got both heralds. They took the topside jungle again and again and grabbed the lead and played that line perfectly. Didn't end up giving the other team the soul and won the game.
So we'll see you guys in just a second. See you guys in 5 minutes while we discuss this final game and end off the stream. So see you guys in just a bit. Take care.
Reckless, more than I've been free.
Oh.
Defenseless, with your eyes on me. It's like I'm caught inside your endless sea, falling fast into the deep. Surrender won't be sound asleep. Yeah. I've never known a life like this, a stranger's kiss, the sweet attraction. I've never known a love like this, forbidden bliss, consumed in action. I've never known a life like this, a stranger's kiss, the sweet attraction. I've never known a love like this, forbidden bliss. I'm yours. Take me home. Take me home. Take me home. Hold me in your heaven. I won't forget the thrill of it all. Take me home. Breathless, rising to the beat. Infectious, comes so naturally. It's like I'm lost inside your ecstasy, wondering if we could be in heaven. We make our reality.
All right, everyone, welcome back. So, you asked and you received Mr. Defoe as your player of the game, coming in at 8-3-8, playing the game out extremely well, taking that early game and snowballing it over with that cryostorm into just a beautiful, beautiful late game. He was doing so much damage. The output was insane. And what can I say other than he played really well? And any thoughts about his play, Mr. Karthik?
Yeah, that was some stellar Anivia play. What I really see is a good Anivia compared to a bad Anivia is good positioning and being able to land those Qs on long range targets. And he kept doing that in laning phase, and he was getting really smurf walls to split the team, help his team escape, and cut the other team off from getting away. So really just amazing play with the Anivia there.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you for correcting me, chat. But Defoe positioning immaculate, damage immaculate, like just overall, playing extremely well. And the same thing can be said for the jungler, Mr. Angratis, is also one of the big, big carries that helped them out throughout this game.
Yeah, that jungle mid synergy was really good. Obviously they weren't able to get a lot of dragons, but they made sure to invade that jungle together. They got the enemy's blue buffs onto Anivia, which is just huge, so that she can keep pushing those waves, and there's just nothing Oriana can do about it, right? Like
Hmm.
she just gets pushed under tower, and they can help the top lane. There were multiple times where Volley's trying to fight Nasus, but Kindred's over there helping him out, and that just turns the tides. Because of
Exactly.
that, Volibear just kind of became non-existent towards the end.
He was strong, yes, but it doesn't really matter if you're not able to do what you're supposed to do. Volley is meant to win lane hard and keep his lead. And unfortunately, he did win lane. He just didn't end up with much of a lead.
Mhm.
And that's what
Yeah,
you need as a volley bear. So they played very well around that top side with the mid jungle duo. I think those two players have great synergy. They were constantly invading, and that's what you need to do, especially into an Udyr. He's supposed to try and do a lot, but if you have an Anivia to help you with that clear, I mean, it's really hard to deal with because she is
yeah,
one of those champions known for clearing camps, clearing waves.
yeah. Uchi did get a bunch of dragons, but he was on the back foot for most of the game.
Hmm.
Kindred was invading him, even though it should kind of be the other way around. But obviously, it's dictated a lot by the lanes.
So I
It does kind of feel bad when you are supposed to invade the enemy jungle, but you just can't because you're not able to get that lane push, and that's what Anivia provides. She has insane wave clear, and they used it perfectly.
Exactly. One thing to note is that the ADCs of both teams, Wolven Alchemist for the Panthers and Devil's Alter Ego for the Wizards, they both played extremely well tonight. Deathless for Wolven, he's going 3-0-16. He participated in a lot of kills, had a lot of game changing, dawning shadows, but Devil's Alter Ego played that line perfectly. Like you said, the aggressiveness as well as staying safe, good positioning from both. And they were both of them were definitely not the downfall of either team.
Yeah, I think bot was a very close matchup. Also, shout out to the sports. We didn't
Hmm.
talk about either of them a lot in the game, but that's because they both played well and didn't make any errors and provided the utility that the team needed out of them.
Exactly. The set
Yeah,
was able to land some key showstoppers, was able to mitigate a lot of damage and buy time with the haymaker and some decent face breakers. Although that the face breaker could use a little bit of work, but those
Mhm.
haymakers were really good. The showstoppers, making sure that Udyr couldn't get onto his carries, they were really good. And good flashes. He made sure that he used his hex flash. Not so much in the late game, but in the early mid, his hex flash plays were really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, two
And
main things to point out from the set actually. One of them, his vision control was really good. There were times where the enemy teams just choked out because they can't walk in, because they're either gonna get set engaged and execute. And there were so many times where Kindred just pops out of nowhere, one shots the ADC, things like that. So really good vision setup by him.
definitely. And that's something as a support that you need to do. Placing vision, both supports definitely had great vision score. So Morgana actually ended up with a nice vision score of 69. Haha, funny number. And the set had 72, so they were both placing the wards. But I think the main problem was that the Morgana didn't have the backup or just wasn't tanky enough to be able to walk up on her own and place the deep vision that Set was able to.
Yeah, and that actually, thinking about the meta, that's why Morgana isn't picked as much. She's
Hmm.
obviously really good against these engaged supports, but when it comes down to those team fights, you have to be really smurf with those Qs, or you can't find yourself being that useful as opposed to the
Exactly.
enemy support just engaging like crazy.
And one problem with Morgana is in order to be really useful, Zonia's Hourglass is required, and that item, yes, it's really good, yes, it's really gold efficient, but as a support, you want to be using your items to help your team. If you look at the set's itemization, he built towards the Zeke's conversions and the Locket of Iron Solari, so he was able to keep his carries alive. He was a very utility based champion that game, and the only items that the Morgana had were the Moonstorm Renewer, yes, broken item, but also had the Zonias, was not able to finish that Staff of Flowing Water, so the combo was just not complete. And they both played really well, but I just think Morgana as a support is just not very great in this meta unless you're able to find that key counter pick. And yes, Morgana is good into most engaged supports, but Set is also good into almost everything because, oh, you black shielded your 80 carry, I'll just go on the Morgana now.
Yeah, and I guess just we have kind of talked about every role as final thoughts for the teams together going in. Both teams tried to play to their win condition. Wizards were so close to getting that Mountain Soul, but
Hmm.
um, Panthers made a great job of capitalizing on every lead, keeping Nasus alive and making sure he stacked. And the carries did really well at finding picks, dealing tons of damage, and disengaging well, and then re-engaging after the enemy's engage was spent.
Exactly. One thing to note is they did play towards the top side more, like you said. Drakes were given, but once again, 2 Barons were claimed up for the red side. So very good play from there. Just making the decision to sack dragons to gain more leads, and overall that paid because once again they are the scaling team. So maybe having that Mountain Soul on the enemy team might not have been as bad as we made it out to be.
That's true. Yeah, and we also saw Senna with Kraken Slayer. We saw Anivia with the Leandries. They're definitely able to deal with that. And Nasus, of course, just brilliant late game damage as he
Exactly.
stacks up. So yeah, really good draft by the Panthers, and I'm glad to see them turn around from game one. They didn't tilt. They continued to play well, and they took a win again at the second game.
Definitely. So thank you guys for coming out tonight. We do have the LRS draft coming out tomorrow. You will see some players that you might recognize. Karthik002 is also going to be making an appearance tomorrow in some of those games. Might not be streamed, but he is going to be there. And on Wednesday, we also have the start of the pre-mades for the week. So we'll hope to see you then. Take care, everyone. Have a good night. And see you tomorrow. Bye.